Test, 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 test. Hello, y'all. Nice, Jason. What's up, Empress? What's going on, y'all? We are just waking up. What it do, y'all? Trump, 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 Trump. MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. Politics, political debates. Ketanji Brown Jackson, Kamala Harris, Joy Reid. Debates, debates. How we doing today, y'all?
Hello,
Hello. Are you a Trump supporter?
I am.
Okay, what do you like about Trump, man?
I like the what's it called? The fact that he cares about America first, and that his immigration and border security is very, very interesting to talk about.
Okay. Um, how in the world would you say he's America first? I think he's pretty much just gutted America of any social programs, science research.
Because people are using fake sources from other establishments that scrutinize him. Nobody's paying attention to him. They're paying attention to whatever is made against him. So if you find somebody liable that way, it's like it's very toxic.
I think that you just have to go straight to no, this is what he's doing, right? Like you just have to go, hey, this is the amount of people he added to a social security program or social welfare
Yeah, I
program.
think if somebody's stupid, right? You would tell them, hey, it would be dehumanizing to just tell them, hey, you shouldn't be president when they've already been elected, correct? Like, what type of person are you if you're not even in the Congress to say shit like that, right?
I don't know what that means. No, we can criticize our president. That's the First Amendment.
Like, you have freedom of speech, but is it effective?
Yes.
I think it's effective in a way that it makes you money. You can profit from your democracy,
I
but
don't
that's
think
about
that's my
it.
only goal here. I think that we can obviously point to the ridiculous state of the country and how far apart we are socially now because you guys have followed Trump down this insane hole of everything you hear is a lie and all of the criticisms of him are unwarranted. I think it's very
It is.
culty. I think that if you were to actually just look at the ledger of like things that Trump has given to America versus what he's taken, we
Yeah.
are way in the negative. We are way in
No,
the
you
red,
and me
man.
first, buddy, because like I remember when I was a child, for me, I never even cared about politics. What I cared about is whether I graduated or not. But when I saw those MAGA hats around 2015, 16, I just started like feeling like I'm not part of something. And I always told myself that I'm gonna be like everyone else. But I always knew that it would be my calling to be the one in charge of these people one day, whether it is not like, in person. Maybe just speak for these people, give them words of encouragement because
You haven't
I
said
feel like
anything yet, though. You've just kind of made slight attacks on my character.
I got you. I apologize for that. That shouldn't be happening. I feel like when it comes to the national pride, when we talk about cultural values from Trump, he's always focused on just war issues. And I feel like you guys are looking for a president that is going to reciprocate for you guys certain social movements that you guys are trying to push upon America. And I feel
I don't
like
think
that
so.
could be something that is anti conservative and anti evangelical.
Okay, but I would say the opposite. I don't think any of our politicians on the left are pushing for social movements. Every time I've asked MAGA to point to me one of our politicians that have pushed for LGBTQ plus to be in classrooms or for trans people to do this or that. Most of it has literally just been reactionary, just protections for these people. We haven't tried to legislate them into existence and into your face. I would say the opposite. I think that you guys are definitely using the law to basically instill Christianity into the country and into the classrooms. And while you can jump for joy for that, and that's your team, it's bad. It's un-American and it's fascist.
So do you think that, because here's the thing, I think we've pushed LGBTQ way too far. They're starting to say that they can be born LGBTQ, and
That's just science.
it's not only is it science, but it's the amount of, like if you think about, if you thought it was bad how Americans undermined Africans coming to America, think about how America has undermined gay people coming to America. I think that is far worse. But because you don't see the statistics, you don't see the studies on people actually suffering. You just see,
I don't
oh,
think you've
well, what?
addressed anything I said. Can you point to me like one of our politicians that's actually doing this? You just keep inferring that it's true. Can you give me
Well,
one politician that's pushing LGBTQ?
Trump is doing it. Trump
No,
is
one of
he's trying.
ours, one of ours, one of on the left. You're in this pretend war where Trump's like the left is doing this when it's really just everybody is in some way has a family member that's LGBTQ or believes in science. Like you just alluded to this one fact that science isn't true. Well, I guess that on the left we mostly believe in science, but on the right you guys do have an anti-science movement going on. Anti-intellectual, anti-science,
The thing is,
superstitious.
if you think that somebody's more likely to be born gay, then you must be understanding that everybody is capable of having that genetic in them.
Correct.
So, so
Can
okay.
you tell me how that's not true?
Well, I mean, we can't there are two, because there are two types of circumstances. Like there can be somebody that's genetically, that, and then there's somebody that can be caused to become that out of like fear for their own safety. Have you look at the women today, when they get raped by a man, immediately, if they didn't like that man, they're gonna be LGBTQ positive or some shit like that. You've seen shit like this
No,
shit
I
happens.
think that you're a disgusting human being if you think that's
You don't
what
know that,
is
well,
happening.
people do that. Man or woman, they do that. You know that lingo that
I,
I'm trying
I
to pick.
I think that socially we have more acceptance for women being gay because for men it's emasculating or demasculating.
What about
And
man?
I'm sorry,
Why can a man be happily treated as a straight man
they can
without
be. What do you
being
mean?
raped by a woman?
They
Oh, they
are
can
most
be?
definitely are.
Oh, are you
Straight men
sure?
have like the most privilege ever.
I'm talking about gay men.
I know. And you have not said one thing that disproves the fact that you could have a predisposition
Because
genetically or whatever to be
nobody would,
gay. Can you say anything
nobody.
that disproves that? Because we're just following science over here.
Well, I would say right now, it is not, you don't see the kids saying, you don't see a bunch of boys saying, I want to get married to a boy right away. This shit is shamed. This shit is taught.
I
This
think
shit
the
is.
shame is taught. I think the shame is taught from the Christian church and from all the other religions and from your side. I think that your side constantly saying, hey, that person's gay, when it's just, you're just saying an insult, not actually saying that
How
they're gay.
about this, Nichols? Let's say you were a little boy and you were in a different country, and somebody intruded, came into your house, and they put their finger in your butthole. Why didn't you just like what? And now you feel like you've been sexually assaulted. A lot of people don't claim that shit as gay. They claim that shit as you've been assaulted and you chose to be gay out
What are
of
you
anger.
talking about?
I'm trying to say that sexual assault can lead to an impulse like being LGBTQ, because
I think
remember,
that trauma can do something to you, but I also think that most people are on a spectrum. Like I don't think everyone is literally all the way straight. I don't think everyone's just all the way gay. I think there are some people who are just straight, maybe some people who are just gay, but I think that the vast majority of people have an underlying ambiguousness
You was
when it
speaking
comes
some
to this.
fire into me, man. Yeah, I love that, man, because like that's true. If we both had wives and we both had kids, who's to say that your kid is not gay and my kid is not gay?
Dude,
That's
I don't
true.
think you're even following what I'm saying.
Well, I'm trying to say that you're right. There are people that are not likely all the way gay, but maybe. And there are people that are straight, but not all the way straight.
Sure, yeah. Like I'm a man. I'm straight. I am not so insecure that I wouldn't like give one of my close dude friends like a kiss on the neck or something like out of like extreme love. Like I've done that a million times. Like I fucking love some of my dude friends and I don't think that's gay. But I think that conservatives are so homophobic that that's not something that's common there.
So, so what is one thing that we can do since we're already allowing Christianity to come into the school buildings? How can we also allow LGBTQ to be taught just like the commandments are being taught? Should there also be another route? Like, should there be
I
Christian
don't think
and
those two things are equal. I think that Christianity is a superstitious belief, and I think that being gay is just a fact of life. Like that is a thing that could happen. That's not something that are equally like elective.
you can't have one without the other, I would say. If we
No,
put
that's not true.
Christianity,
That's not
if
true.
we put
If we
Christianity
we can keep all of the super because you don't want Muslim stuff to be taught in school. I'm gonna guess, right? Like, would you want us to teach
nobody
Muslim
would
stuff?
catch on. Nobody would be smart enough to catch on. I feel like nobody would be smart enough as a kid to catch on to the Bible sometimes because, like, kids aren't really prepared to read the Bible. They are prepared to go to school, meet new people, eventually grow old to get a job or find their purpose. Whether that is reading
Dude,
a Bible or
I
not,
know
Bible
I've said
should be.
this like 5 times. I think you literally can't follow a conversation.
I'm trying to follow
I
as hard
really
as
just don't think so. I think you think you're smart, and I just don't think that's even the case.
you're right. I feel like I'm panicking a little actually, because I love your glasses.
Yeah,
Do you think that Trump has the wrong advocacy and visibility, hence the rigged elections, hence the fact that he's seemed to be the person that says that they're gonna do something for America but never follows through, or
I think Trump has said that he was going to do something for America and did the exact opposite. He lied.
okay? I mean, what do you think about Trump's way of healthcare throughout all 8 years that we follow through? His healthcare, his military service, and his
His
safety on
healthcare? What is his healthcare?
like, do you think that he wants to restore healthcare? Do you think he wants to increase military service? Do you think that he wants to create a safety and anti-bullying regiment into America?
What is that? How did you go from healthcare to that?
Because when we're talking about these things and how trauma can affect a person, I feel like bullying and violence plays a huge part in the way that we see things today and how we speak to each other.
Well, yeah, and I think Trump is the champion of being a bully. And I think he's taught a lot of people to be that way. The whole fuck your feelings movement, the whole mean tweet movement. He's taught a bunch of people like you to be abrasive and gross and disgusting and disregard people's uh, like disregard
Feeling.
the respect we owe each other as citizens.
Right. It's like we're both going into a store, and instead of saying that we're going to shop, we're kind of buying the same thing, but you come out of nowhere and you say, "I have more money than you." Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I don't think that applies at all. Actually, I think that you are something special.
Thank you, man. And I find you an dissective case study yourself. Like I completely love the tattoos, and I hope one day that you understand that I don't think presidents are the issue. I feel like the Constitution and the law, the Bill of Rights, and the amendments
Dude, we
is
have
what.
not been able to pin down one topic at all. You went from gay, religion to healthcare, back to bullying to this.
Well, let's talk about just about abortion, and we'll call it a day. All
Yeah,
right.
dude. All right, here's gonna be my proposition. Trump has caused more deaths through his actions than 10 years of abortions.
What? No, he hasn't.
Yes, he has.
Okay. So let's argue.
Okay,
I think.
so the cut of USAID by 2030 will lead to 14 million deaths of AIDS, starvation, and malnutrition. Your turn.
I don't believe that America has anything to do with that, man. I feel like we're destabilizing other countries.
Well, we absolutely did have something to do with that, and we are stabilizing countries with USAID. That's the purpose of it.
Okay. Well, I believe that the national count of abortions is about 1.13 million abortions,
700K.
700,000. Okay, well, you see, when it comes to 700,000 abortions, I feel like Trump is probably he's probably on his way to remove the terrorism from America, even if it means to increase that count. Wouldn't you say that that's a great idea
He's willing to make it go up, even if somehow
for
that's
the
going to remove it.
for the right reasons, Pickle?
No, I don't
Think
get what
of
you're saying. First of all of the abortion laws that you guys have placed in the 23 or 26 states have now increased abortion rates. Abortions have gone up. You guys don't see the correlation, so you're just going to keep doing it. I think it's silly. I think it's brainless. I think it's brain rot. And then Trump cutting USAID. If you actually do care about lives equally, not just United States citizens, because most people who I debate with an abortion don't specifically say, "Oh, that's an American baby." They just say that's a baby, that's a life. I'm assuming you have the same contempt, right? Like you believe that lives are lives and we should save lives, regardless of their nationality.
I believe yeah, race doesn't play an issue on this at all. What plays an issue is if it was immoral, if the abortion was immorality done through immoral, like if the
Okay, so
abortion is
you just believe abortions as a whole are bad. Okay, so I would argue that you also believe that kids starving to death or dying of AIDS is just as bad, right? I would even say that it's even worse. In my worldview, it absolutely is even worse. These people suffer, they die a very painful, slow death, and it's contagious, so it's even worse.
I've seen the videos, man, because I've seen the people feed them things that make them even hungrier, so then they
What?
eat whatever it is, the chud that they're feeding them. It's very disgusting.
I don't
I
know what
know
you're
what you
saying. Do you believe that those deaths are just as valuable in your eyes as the deaths of the people
well
who
that's
make
not because of
abortions?
that's not because of Trump. Every president has seen poverty in their lives. Why would we blame Trump because of some
Trump cut
the way
USAID.
people. Okay, just because Trump cuts USAID, that doesn't mean people are going to be pretending to have a poverty life. No, I feel like
They
people are
don't
gonna
pretend
choose.
they're going to die. This isn't play. This is for
Hmm.
keepsies.
I mean, if people generally are going to lose their lives just because a president cut USAID, I think that's an issue from not just the people itself, but the mayor representative of the state that the people are actually experiencing poverty from. I wouldn't say it's a presidential issue at that point.
These people
If
are
the mayor,
dying in Africa. Not,
look at California, Skid Row has so many homeless ass people. Like the whole city there
I
is
know,
just
and
like
Republicans would make that even worse. There's not a single thing you have heard from one of your representatives that would address homelessness. Can you tell me one thing that they've said that they would do for homelessness?
okay, I'll give you a second. I mean, one thing off the top of my head actually is they're going to they're going to defund certain establishments that are increasing federal spending, and that's why Trump wanted us. He wanted to bring back Social Security.
He's
Uh,
gutted Social Security. How does that going to stop homelessness?
how Well, how Trump is going to stop homelessness is going to begin with what's it called? He needs to clear entrapments of and criminalization. So he needs to quickly use his executive orders instead of going to war. He needs to start enforcing what's it called? Ways for American citizens to get off the streets, but also find a place to go.
Yeah,
Rather,
that's
yeah.
fun. Yes, that's the gist of fixing homelessness. Can has he done anything like that? No. He's made more people
No.
homeless.
He's banning urban camping. He's banning loitering and squatting. He's creating these fines right now for the homeless people that are trying to make
Does
a
that fix
living.
homelessness? That just makes them move to the suburbs.
Mm, I mean, yes, it does make a move to the suburbs, but this shit actually is seen everywhere in urban culture.
Okay,
If
I know. I live in downtown Dallas. How does it fix it? I know how prevalent it is. How does it fix it? Republicans never ever will fix it because the second you start talking about a program that fixes homelessness, you're going against all the things they've spent decades demonizing. They call it all socialism. They call it all communism. They say that it's Democrats just want free shit. When the truth is, every dollar that we spend on the homeless population, uh, it saves us money. It saves us money because you guys are so negative IQ on this. You've never actually thought about the budget or anything. You guys are in neck deep in culture wars. You don't actually know anything about politics.
And you know exactly what they did back then, right? For those people, what they did is they, instead of giving them rehab, they put them in a psych ward, and that shit was really bad for them.
Well, it's
So
also very expensive. So, can you just tell me one thing? Would you just say that you don't have anything that would fix
no, I
homelessness?
have everything right now that you can actually write down with your pen or keep it in mind. We need to expand federal rental assistance. We need to
Trump has
invest in
gutted that.
housing. We need to stop America First movement, and we need to start housing first movement. We need to
I think housing
increase.
first would be America first. Trump has gutted all of these things that you would consider America first. When
America
America
First.
first started, it was crying about us sending money to Ukraine. And then the
Yeah,
second
that's the
Trump gets in
issue.
office, he sends all the money abroad and he's
That's the
gutted
issue.
all of the programs locally.
That's the issue. He needs to stop thinking that America needs to go to war to allow this country to be rich. He needs to understand that he can expand America through
Okay, what are you
increasing
doing
affordability.
criticizing the president? Look at
Dude,
you.
I'm sorry. I love my president, but this is the only way that he can truly make America great, and that's he needs to provide integrated supportive services for the people that literally have no place
Now,
to go out there.
welcome to the Democrat Party because that's what we do.
Thank you.
That's what we do every single time. Every single time Trump removes people from welfare programs, SNAP programs. His first administration removed 80,000 people off of food stamps. I know people that have gone from $400 a month on food stamps to $86 a month. These people are now in a really bad position. And then he's made gas prices skyrocket because of his optional war in Iran.
You
He's
know,
he's absolutely just fucked up the world economy. People that aren't even here are dying because of the oil shortages, especially people in Cuba. But people abroad, when oil gets expensive, all of these other things become out of reach and they just die. Trump has done
and
that worldwide, and you're just sitting here demanding that I love Trump anyway.
no, I don't think you should respect Trump at all. But just the only winning argument I have against you would probably be like that he's allowed drugs to be legal. Like he's allowed drugs to be legal in his own. I'm setting a criminal or I'm setting a executive order to allow drugs to be manufactured here in the U.S. We're gonna start legalizing everything. That's what he's
I
doing right
think that
now.
you have the two different types of drugs mixed up, dude. What are you talking about? Trump has absolutely made all of these things more expensive with tariffs.
Right. Okay. So since we can't come up with a prevention plan, I think what we need to do is we need to start building more emergency shelters for people that can afford houses,
Do
and
you have
we
any like politicians proposing that, or are they just all looking for tax cuts?
they're actually, as a matter of fact, they're all focused. This is the thing: they're all focused all the people that Trump is endorsing is all focused on abortion. They don't care about the people out there camping in the streets with
Yeah, they
nothing.
don't care about the people who already exist that need help. They just want to virtue signal to the people that will be uh,
Okay,
inside of
well,
someone else and
James
somebody else's
Tallarico,
belly stealing their resources too.
I've been in the state of Dallas too, and James Tallarico is not doing anything for Texas, and he never will.
I
Look
don't
at
know what
him.
that
He's
means.
a
He's
joke.
not in a position of power. How would he do
Okay,
anything?
he's not. He's not. Oh,
No.
really? Oh, he's got ad campaigns. He's got revenue
Does
from
that
it.
make him in a
He has
position
a
of
wife.
power?
He has. He. Oh, okay. Maybe he doesn't because he's not in Congress. But if he is elected,
He's going to do great. Yeah, he's going to add people to these programs
no,
and save
I'm
lives.
going to stay a Republican unless James Tallarico listens to us on what we're saying here that we're going to change the homeless and make them great. Then I will be a Democrat. I will fight my ass off for
Every
them.
single Democrat is a policy has a policy position on fighting homelessness. Every single one of them. What are you talking about?
Thank you so much, Pickles, on allowing me to rethink my vote. Have a good one, man. Thank you so much.
State of Dallas is crazy, chat. Chat, if you're a Trump supporter and you want to follow that performance, you're welcome to try. But hop in the box if you want to debate. That guy was not on something. Every time I talk to him, he's definitely that confused all the time. Chat, tap the screen. Thank you guys so much for the 11K and welcome to the late night thing. Thank you, Georgia, for the Diney. Maybe he's on something all the time. I don't know. I'm gonna turn the phone line on, y'all. We missed a phone call earlier. We'll turn it on. It makes sense that he's MAGA. Yeah. Dog, if you think you're like in any way sort of like good at speaking, I got news for you. I don't think you are. If you want a complete melting pot, go to Dallas. It's wild. Yeah. I love Dallas. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Yes.
Nice. All right. What do you like about Trump?
I do love everything about Trump. Yes. Been supporting him for a long time now.
Yeah, what name one of the things you like about him, I guess.
Name one thing you say
Sure.
I love about Trump. Well, he's got our economy back booming really well. In a long time, but it's really nice to everybody be working and everything.
I think that we have an increase in unemployment. We have the fewest jobs available historically, even through the pandemic. Uh, the budget is now upside down. Our debt has now surpassed the GDP for the first time since World War II. There's not a single economic metric that's doing good. Can you name one?
Okay. Well, the oil and gas industry is really booming now, and first time in 5 years, you know. So
I don't think that's
anyway,
true
where
either.
do we? No.
I
Okay.
think
Well,
Biden
can I
had the
ask
same
you?
exact levels of oil production that Trump did.
Wow. Okay. We know that. Yeah, I was wondering where do you get your information? I would really like to read up on it, though. I really would.
Yeah, so what you do is you type into the Googles EIA.gov, oil production, and you just look at the levels of oil that were produced throughout the Biden presidency, and he did far more than Trump his first term. We were the most energy independent than we have been in 75 years because of Biden.
But well, okay, I will. I will. It just seems like there's a lot more jobs going on in the oil and gas industry right now.
Well, the United States of America isn't an oil and gas industry, and that's it. There's a bunch of people here. There's 350 million people here. Now I suspect
Right.
less than 1 million of them do oil and gas.
Okay, I got you. Okay. Well, I was just wondering where do you get your information from? Because I'd like to look it up. You just Google it.
So
You
you type in
listen to the
EIA.gov,
platform.
the Energy Information Administration. That's who
Okay.
tells us who. Instead of listening to Trump when he says "drill, baby, drill," if you were
Right.
somebody who was on the left and who actually like read these things, you would laugh at him every time. But instead, you just believe him, I guess. But yeah, he just lies all the time.
Okay. I got you. I got you. But
Taught us
anyway,
not to believe what we live every day and see.
I seen you on the podcast there. I figured I just figured I'd call and talk in a peaceful way. Our side is very peaceful, and I really like that also.
70% of the domestic terrorism and violence in the United States is on the right. 20% of it is on the left. That's the
Oh my
numbers.
Lord. Oh my Lord, the delusion.
Where do you guys get your information on that?
All right. So instead of listening to Trump again, you just type it into the Google machines, and you can find the ADL has reports on this, the Anti Defamation League, or not league, ADL, whatever the L is stands for. I can just show you the charts on my screen, and I have yet to seen anybody pull up anything different. I've been begging for this for months since Charlie got shot in the neck. None of y'all have any
Right.
information in this regards. You just have rhetoric. I think that most of y'all run on rhetoric.
Okay. Well, that's cool. It's just interesting. I'm always about peace, trying to, just pretty much promote peace through everything. Just don't like seeing violence.
Yeah. Well, I just put a chart up on my screen. Ideology of political murders, 391. This is from the Cato Institute, which is a libertarian think tank. And I just challenge you or whoever you have next to you to Google this and see if you can find anything that says leftism leads to more violence. Because I would say that like the people on the far left, they want to feed and house everybody, and the people on the far right are literally like Nazis, white supremacists, the top 15 of the FBI's most violent groups in America are all right wing. And then the 16th place is the first instance of left wing domestic terrorism, which is PETA, the people who save animals. So I just don't think y'all have
Oh,
any ground to stand on there.
right, right. Well, I was just wondering. I was just wondering. But anyway, that's what I was wondering. And but yeah, that's where whenever I Google things, it always gives me it's like a left-leaning platform is Google because the facts don't line up all the way there. That
Well, then
what's
use
real
go.
factual out there doesn't always line up. So what's real.
Yeah, I think the anecdotal experiences don't really say anything. So, like, just like you guys might say, oh, I see that everybody's doing really good in my area with the economy. Well, someone else can come along and say, well, everybody I know is doing bad. So, who's telling the truth? You just have to look it up. You have to look up the data. And I have data driven beliefs. And I think the most of the right have rhetorical beliefs. They simply just believe whatever the news tells them or whatever Trump tells them without seeing any data.
What news would you be talking about?
Fox News, OAN, Newsmax, whatever. I think just about every news outlet that's worth mentioning in the United States is owned by a Republican, anyways. And we rank, I believe it's like 67th in freedom of press throughout the world. We aren't exactly the best in uh, giving freedom of the press to people who challenge our administration's beliefs, especially right now, since Trump has threatened multiple news outlets with the FCC and threatening to take their licenses if they don't bow down to him or say nice things about him. Um, I think this is something that you would just have to dig deep enough to find actual data, and none of it really aligns with what Trump says ever.
Oh, okay. Well, it's nice to talk to someone on the other side in a peaceful manner. It really is.
I reckon. I reckon. I think this is something we could have had for a long time, ever since Trump called Ted Cruz's wife a dog, and called Obama Kenyan, and started all sorts of conspiracies that made people violent. We've seen a drastic skyrocket, like an increase in domestic terrorism. And I can give you some data on that too. But I believe between the years of 2000 and 2007, there were two domestic right wing terrorist events. And then the 2 years after that, we had 20. And then 2 years after that, it was 40. And when Trump's saying they're eating the cats and the dogs, and saying that they're vermin or poisoning the blood of the country, or that the border is wide open and that we're being invaded, people become violent. And I think that we've seen things like movements of people with a huge envoy that went to the border to find that there were no people crossing almost. They were there with their ARs. They were there to protect the border. And a lot of it's just not true, man.
Okay. So during the Biden administration, the border was secure and closed. I mean, secure for the most part. I
It
know,
was
I
more
know.
secure
There's
than
going to be
than
people
during
that get
Trump.
in.
Biden had more stringent. He had more stringency on the border. So Biden's rejection rate was 50%. Trump's was 47. So even with a higher volume, the amount of people that were allowed into the immigration system was not 100. That would be an open border. It was 50.
Okay, and you get all your information from Google, correct?
Google doesn't give anyone information. They just make a
Well, you
directory
know what I
for it.
mean.
This is from the
Well, I
Cato
understand what you're
Institute.
saying.
The Cato Institute is a right-leaning organization. They're libertarian, and
Well,
that's
you
where I
told me
got
earlier
this.
that you Google. You told me earlier that you Google
Hmm.
information.
Yeah, I think that
That's what I
people
mean
who
by that.
who allude to the fact that Google might give you the wrong results are also a little misled. Google does nothing but their entire search engine would be broken if they tried to lead you to things that were just left-leaning. It would just break the entire idea of Google, because they give you the search results that are the most organically matching. So even SEO, search engine optimization campaigns, can't push the wrong information to the top unless people navigated to those Google entries and stayed there, and Google determines that those are the correct information, but they're not. So,
Alrighty. Hey, I appreciate your information, sir.
alrighty,
Yes, sir. Take care. Thank you.
you too. And yet they're dripping with left wing bias. It's just that Trump lies to y'all all the time, Cletus, Cecil. Trump just lies to y'all all the time. So, um, I think that he even knowingly says very misleading things, which is also another type of propaganda. Like, um, I read somewhere recently how, like, Russia, even they put out misinformation that makes absolutely no sense just to keep people confused, just to keep people conspiratorial. But yes, liberal ideology as a reality-leaning bias, I suppose, is what you could say. So it's the same as Trump coming out and saying that Tylenol causes autism. It's untrue. He probably knew it was untrue, and we were around fighting about it for a couple of months. It even became a meme. And given that, even all of the people that determined that that absolutely was a lie and they are on the right and they love Trump, now they've just stopped believing the sources that proved Trump wrong. So it further captures them into like a echo chamber. Chat, thank you guys so much for all the likes. Don't forget to give me a follow if you enjoy these debates. And to prove him wrong, they gobbled Tylenol. You and your liver really showed him. Cecil, you admit that that was untrue, right? You admit that that was a lie. And now we have people just going around saying, well, you just can't believe any scientist now because Trump is right and those scientists are wrong. Same thing with climate change. Sir was honestly kind of respectful. Agreed. Let's get back on the phone. The phone line is now open. The lab leak was a lie. Nobody actually cares at all on our side the origin of COVID. Like, none of us sit here and go, oh, somebody was sneaky and maliciously like released it. Nobody cares about that. We just cared about surviving it.
Okay.
Hello.
What's up?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, what do you like about Trump?
So you have to think about it in the chronological percipital way of how he was born yesterday and tomorrow. How much wood could have?
All right. Chat.
I'm thinking about it. I'm sending Tay some bald eagles.
Oh.
I'll go on mute.
All right.
Okay.
Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Of course I'm a Trump supporter. It's the only way you could be these days.
There's very few of you now, though, actually.
Oh, there's plenty of us. That's just your fake polls and your fake news. And what makes you think the right owns the mainstream media? That's clueless. And did you know that a leftist organization owns a lot of Fox? And that was part of why you don't get half the story on Fox these days. But tell me, do you think that COVID was real? Do you think that it was a real vaccination? Do you think that COVID stopped being spread when you got the shot? Because it didn't.
No,
it's not a vaccine.
First of all, let's address this the right way. Can you name, without saying Dr. Fauci, without saying CDC, can you just name something that proves that COVID or the vaccine was not real or effective?
Well, first of all, we have a lot of evidence through what we found from Fauci. So if you pull Fauci out of that, you're killing evidence, which is like killing Brady. It's you know, you're not playing fair if you get rid of evidence. But we also know that we funded the United States through Fauci The
Okay, hold
Chinese,
on. Let's
the
let,
Chinese scientists who were working on
pretend
gain
that
of
you live
function,
pretend,
working on COVID.
pretend that you live in pretend that you live in another country, not China, not us. Pretend like you live in another country. What would you say? Because every single country on Earth still maintains that COVID was very real and that the vaccine was safe and effective. And in
No, that's
fact,
not true at all.
okay,
That's not true at all. Israel.
which country doesn't?
Well, wait a second. You're throwing sort of, that comes a little out of left field, but that's not true at all. You
Which
can't say
country?
every country. I'm sure we could go country by country. And when you say COVID's real, do you mean people died? Okay, people died from it. But what's more important is that it was funded by the U.S. and it was hidden that it was funded by Fauci, through him,
Listen,
the creation of
you're gonna get me
COVID,
banned talking about
and that there was no.
conspiracies. We can't prove that.
The
You
important,
can't
well,
prove that, can you?
the important part of this, but we can prove that the COVID shot never stopped anyone from getting COVID. People kept getting COVID even after they got shots,
Nobody
and it
says
also
that.
didn't stop
Nobody
the
says that.
spread.
Okay.
Everybody says that. That's the point. It wasn't a vaccine, and the left shut the country down and shut our economy
So
down
every
over
country
COVID.
did that, right?
Yes, and it was stupid,
Okay,
and it
but
was
it
wrong,
wasn't the
and it was a
left. It
leftist
was.
control vehicle. It was a leftist control vehicle,
I think that
and
is
it's just so obvious.
that is a that's a conspiracy. I think that you
It's a
absolutely have
conspiracy
to have
fact.
weird common enemies that were given to you by Trump. But again, this whole thing breaks when you talk
Nothing
about
was given
any
me by
other
Trump.
country. Any
See,
other
you
country.
have what's classic Trump, derangement syndrome. All of basically conservatives understand that we were hoodwinked. That money went for this COVID, and it was made by big pharma. Made so much money. What they make 40
Didn't
times
Trump fund
the
that
amount
though?
to make the pill.
Didn't Trump fund that?
If you go back to that time, yes, and the first thing, yeah, and he did Operation Warp Speed to
Yeah.
get something out there. And what did the left scream? I'm not taking that Trump thing,
That's not true.
that Trump money thing. Yes,
Most
they did.
of us got
Kamala said
vaccinated, right?
they switched. They switched. You don't remember. At first, the left screamed. So
all you're
then they
talking
all
about
switched and
is
used it to control.
You're talking about a Kamala quote where she said, "I'm not going to get the vaccine just because Trump said so.
All the news
I'm
was
going to do what the
complaining about it.
science says." So the people who
Yeah,
didn't
that's the
take the
classic
vaccine,
left.
those are all the people on your side.
So what about the science of the heart arrhythmia? Okay, where people were dying and were getting their hearts stretched out by it, and it was hidden. And people like Bill Gates were screaming and investing. You have to take the shot. It's so important. You're killing
Every
us if
country
you
did,
don't.
right?
You're killing my grandmothers. Not every country. There were countries that were not as crazy about this, and there were states. Where do you live, by the way?
Texas.
What state? Texas? Well, you shouldn't be so delusional if you're from Texas. They were a little better on COVID. I'm
Yeah,
in
my
Montana.
state
I
shut
was in
down too,
Wyoming at
right?
the time. Texas is a reasonable conservative state. They're not open to a Muslim leftist joining together, crushing of Western values.
I don't
Do
know. I
you
think that that's
value the
another
West?
boogeyman
I
given
wonder
to
if you
by
value the West.
Israel.
Do you love America?
A lot more than Republicans, yeah.
More than Republicans. That's a crazy thing to say, considering, do you know every American? How can you say you love it more than all
So the
Americans?
Republicans that are
That's a
still
childish
left,
thing to say.
the Republicans
It's a
that are
very
still
childish perspective that you come from.
for the Republicans today have no issues with Trump writing executive orders to undo entire constitutional amendments,
Some
i.e. the
do.
14th.
Well, now you're putting a spin on what Trump is doing. Okay, and that's a typical leftist thing. What is it that he actually wants? Tell me what Trump
wants to
what you think he's
undo-
actually doing.
He wants to undo birthright citizenship, right?
And why shouldn't he? When we
Because it's in our
have a
Constitution.
full crowded yes, but we need to amend it because people are abusing it. Foreigners are
Okay,
abusing it.
what are the
We
ways
know
to
they're
amend?
flying over here to
What are the
have
ways
babies.
to amend the Constitution? I'll give you a hint.
What is it?
It's not
Three-quarters?
executive order.
3/4 of Congress. What is it? You tell me. You got it in front of
Yeah,
you. What is
2/3
it?
of the states, 3/4 of Congress, something like that. Yeah, right. But
Okay.
not an executive order
So
from one person.
why not amend it? Do you think we need more people in this country? Do you think that
Yes,
we
we're
have
in
a
population
population?
decline.
Have you lived in a city? So what? That doesn't mean that we need more people. There's
It literally
350 million at
does.
least. If I've lived in New York City where you're stuck for 5 hours in traffic, where you can't move, okay, where the housing costs 5 times what it did 20 years ago because of mass immigration. It's
That's not
five
true.
grand for a one bed. What do you mean it's not true?
It's not
There's
because
there's
of mass
entire neighborhoods
immigration.
where people don't. 45% of New Yorkers are foreign born. That is not America. And people don't assimilate anymore. People used to take time. You know, we used to
How do you measure
slow
that?
down and stop immigration. You measure that by people speaking the language, being patriotic, respecting the laws of this
And
country,
what
not bringing
measurements are we
Sharia
looking at
law,
there?
not hating, not bringing a racist edge to everything, because that's basically, you have people coming here denying and sneering at our country, basically. And that's what the politicians do. That's the leftist mode now,
I don't
is
think
to
so. I
just
think that's
blame white men for everything.
just
White men did
this
it
is
to
called
us.
white fragility. So I think that the left is very aware of racial issues, and I think that you guys are desensitized to it so
The
much. You're
left
told to
live on
hate.
race. Yes, they're aware. They live on race issues. That's all they are, is a giant race baiting, race dividing hate fest.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're a part of.
Uh-huh.
That
So when
Trump
Trump
is
said
a unifier.
when Trump
What
said
did
that
Trump do?
they're coming over here, they're not bringing their best. They're rapists and criminals. Some might be good people.
Absolutely.
Some might be good people. What percentage of the people were rapists and criminals that year?
Well, what did the left do? They let free 12,000 murderers across our border. That we know. We
That's
know
not
that
true either.
Venezuela emptied. Yes, it is absolutely true. It's FBI statistics. We also know
I
that they
have the statistics.
opened
I
our
cite
border.
them daily. It's not true.
The fact that you don't know that between 20 and 40 million people came across our border during Biden,
That
when it
is
was filmed,
absolutely
they
not
were
true,
filming
actually.
it every night. They
Yeah,
had people.
I
They had
get what
people in
propaganda
packs
looks
of
like.
50,000.
I know what
Yeah,
propaganda looks
this
like.
is videotape.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you're really gone. You're really gone now, because if you don't, what did they do? Did they pay extras to cross the border, different people every day, and interview them?
So, have you ever
Pamela, the
Googled
border czar,
how do
wouldn't go to the border.
hold on?
Are
How
you
do we
kidding
how do
me?
we
You
how
don't
do
know
we
that the border was stormed? You
how
don't know that rent prices are basically outrageous, and Americans have been pushed out of their cities, and that cities are
That's
violent.
also not true.
And at the same time, the left is defunding the police. Is there not a
Nobody's
defund the
defunding the
police
police.
movement right now?
Mm-mm.
Are you kidding? Is ICE not police? Is DHS not police? They literally, with all
They're not law enforcement.
the illegals in our country, the left are fighting to defund
All right, I'm
DHS.
gonna slow you
It's the
down.
sickest, most thing I've ever
This has been on my
seen.
screen now for 30 seconds, and you can see it now on my stream if you're watching my YouTube. This is the amount of immigrants that came in during the last, since 2018. And 10 million of them have been here forever. That's what these numbers show. And then
Who
all the
gave
way to
you this
2022.
Where do you, where is this from?
This is from Department of Homeland Security. Oops. Can you now show me where 10 or 20 million came
Right.
across
Yes,
through
yes,
Biden?
I do, because they don't count the illegals. These are the
This
process
is
people.
undocumented. This is strictly the people you call illegal. This is only the people you're talking about.
It's on. No. These are people who were given sandwiches, and yeah, you're not authorized, but they let them in our country. You're wrong.
It's not true.
You're actually wrong. These are not correct statistics.
This is the. Can you find me the true statistic?
How many are you saying?
Can you find me the true statistic real quick? Because I've been doing this for about 2 years, and not a single MAGA has brought me the 10 to 20 million number.
Wait a second. This is nonsense. This is 2010 or later. That's a random number. Look at that. What are you trying to point at? You're pointing at something that's not specific. We're talking about the Biden years, and you're showing 2010 or later. It's nonsense.
That line
where
we're looking at, I'm going to help you read this chart. I'm going to help you read this
No.
chart.
Wait, stop a second. You have a cherry-picked stat that says that's most recent
Find me the real
years
stats real quick.
are a 16-year nonsense.
Find me the real stats real quick, all right? Find it for me.
You know what? I'm actually on the road. I don't have my computer in front of me, but we can't use this stat because it's obviously nonsense.
Yeah, I absolutely can, because this is the only stat you'll find when you look this stuff up.
Okay, then they're not giving you the real stats because you go to the FBI, check the
FBI
FBI,
doesn't track this.
and I don't see DHS at the bottom of that.
This is ohss.dhs.gov is the URL for this.
Okay, so so how many people are you saying came in during Biden?
Somewhere around 3 to 5 million.
All together?
Yes.
All together, 3 to
Yes.
5 million.
Yes.
That was 1 year, and it was videotaped.
find me
And there
where
are
that-
so many others.
There's
I
no
told you I
such thing as a
can't right now.
videotape that shows
let's
you
just say you're right.
the total amount. There's no such thing as a
So
tape that
let's
shows
just
you the
say
full
you're
amount.
right. Wait a second. Let's just say you're correct. Okay, you're correct. Fine.
I know I am.
It's only 3 to 5 million people. You
Uh-huh.
know it. You say things such as all of the left, all of these people. You speak in a generalized way. You should probably fix that. If you want to grow, you got to get more specific, man.
Buddy, you came out
All
here
right?
with the most insane, egregious claims, and I have to
Insane.
dissect them one by one.
I'm talking about things I've heard in the common vernacular
Yeah,
of
I
discussions.
know. You guys run off of rhetoric,
Okay.
not data.
Rhetoric. I love it. I
Yes.
love it when CNN, MSNBC, and every other leftist network repeats the same exact phrases, like verbatim, on every issue. It's like they're owned all owned by George Soros at once.
Okay,
Do you
so
think George Soros
Twitter
is a bad
is
guy? What
Twitter.
about George Soros?
Okay,
Is he a
Twitter,
good guy?
owned by Elon Musk. Washington Post, owned by Jeff Bezos. One American News, small conservative network. Sinclair
Okay,
Podcast
Bezos
News.
is a
That is conservative.
wacko.
Newsmix, conservative. Fox, conservative.
No,
Fox is the
no,
biggest
no.
in
You
the
don't even know
world,
what a
isn't it?
conservative is. I don't even think you know what a conservative is. But tell me something. Is George Soros a good guy?
Sure.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, what's
You
bad
think
about him?
that's what I figured.
What's
That's a
bad
good
about him?
guy. Who support is Hamas and Hezbollah, are those good, peaceful organizations that we should probably allow into our country? Such thought.
I don't think
And
anybody's trying to get
speaking of rhetoric-
the terrorist into our country.
So you call them terrorists? Okay.
Yeah.
So George Soros funds such groups.
So does
he
so does
supports.
Netanyahu, doesn't he?
You're not down. There's a conspiracy theory.
That's not
do
a
you also
conspiracy
think
theory.
Netanyahu? Of
That is
course
not
it
a
is.
conspiracy
If-
theory.
that Netanyahu, well, if you say he fed and gave water to people, and
No.
okay,
In
when the
2018,
world was
2019,
screaming
he
to
funneled
give him,
millions to Hamas
why? What was the point of it?
to perpetuate war, so he doesn't have to have elections, so he can stay in power.
To perpetuate war, so he didn't have to. Okay, do you also think that he let people in on October 7th? That he was part of planning? This is a great leftist theory.
No,
love
I don't.
this
I
one.
don't think anything.
That you guys think
crazy?
Netanyahu allowed and planned and said, yeah, let him in on October 7th so we could have a war. That's great leftist lunacy.
I didn't say
You
that.
don't believe it.
So for years,
Okay.
Israel
Okay.
Prime Minister
Right.
Benjamin Netanyahu permitted and encouraged the transfer of millions of dollars in Qatari cash to the Gaza Strip to support Hamas government there. This policy lasted from 2018 to October 2023 and designed as part of a strategy to keep Hamas functional as a counterweight to the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank, therefore providing pressure to negotiate for a Palestinian state.
If that's true, it was a mistake, clearly, right? If that's true.
Now you're
it's a
my
huge
conspiracy
mistake.
theorist like me, huh?
No, I'm not saying it. No,
Okay.
I'm trying to say. No, I'm just saying if you're right on that, if you are, and I have my doubts, then that's a huge mistake. Sure, he shouldn't have been funding such ideology.
Yeah.
So yeah, if that's, but you know what? I have my doubts on that because this is a guy who lived his whole life fighting terrorists. I mean, he's been around.
Netanyahu is a
the
terrorist, and
73.
he's got several arrest warrants out for him by the ICC.
So how about the Jews over there, surrounded by people whose ideology is to kill them, who when they took money to help their people, built miles of tunnels so that they can jump up and kill and rape and burn babies and slaughter people door to door who were unarmed.
Israel is just
Do you
as
think that was justified?
dangerous.
Wait a second.
I think
Wait,
Israel is
here's-
just as horrible. Israel is a terrorist state
How?
ran by Netanyahu.
How are they a terrorist state? All they've done is defend themselves.
That's not true.
Would you want to defend Texas if you were attacked the way that Israel's been?
I wouldn't say carpet bomb people.
How about the look, first of all, Israel abandoned and gave Gaza to the Palestinians, okay, in 2006, and they gave them a fair election.
Oh
So
God.
the Palestinians voted in Hamas
And when's
as
the
their
last time
leader.
they've had an election? That was the last time, right?
Yeah, because Hamas is a terrorist organization, and they can
And so is
but they also
Israel.
raise their people. How is Israel a terrorist
How many
organization?
countries has
Or
Israel
defense-
attacked in the last 6 years?
They're surrounding countries who have done nothing but attack them. Don't you get it? Don't you get in 1947 when all those, or actually they were drawn up years before that, but when the first war happened, everyone said, we can all exist, but Israel can't. Israel that has existed for 4,000, 5,000, we're not sure, but we
That's
have
not
old
big
Martin's
either.
grave. You don't think Israel has been around for over 3,000 years?
No.
Now you are lost in a conspiracy.
That's not a
Okay,
conspiracy. Israel's as old as the name in the Bible. That's
as
like
what
me
the New York
saying,
Yankees?
listen, if I had a kid named him Jesus, would I be able to tell you that he's been around for 2,000 years?
Now that's just ridiculous. We have proof that we have Josephus Flavius who wrote about Jesus in about the year 100 or so. We know Jesus wasn't probably an existing person. There's a lot of history. There's Roman documents that support it. There's a lot of Roman ancient documents that support that Israel existed. There's ancient Egyptian documents. There's actually ancient history that did survive. Okay, it's not all burned up scrolls. We know Israel's really old. We know there was a King David. We know that they're old Israeli maps. We have found
I
things.
don't believe in
Okay, the
Israel
Dead
as
Sea
a
Scrolls.
state, as an ethno-state. I
You
don't believe in that.
you don't even you just hate the Jews. Now I don't know enough Jewish people to make a big statement on Jews, but I think they have a right to exist, and I think they've proven that
Nobody
they've
cares
existed there
about
a long time.
nobody has qualms
Nobody's
with
been
their
attacked
right
like the
to
Jews.
exist, but it's the fact that they're an ethno-state and that there's a hierarchy of people
An
based on a
ethno-state? What do you
religion.
call the Muslims? What do you call the Muslims who slaughtered all the Christians, okay, 2,000 years ago? They were mostly Christians in all those countries. So, no, sorry, not 2,000. When Muhammad came, basically what he did was that he started a genocidal mass colonization. Okay, the true colonists and the true murderers are the Muslims, and they are infecting the West. And if you don't understand that, they are a cancer in the
I
West.
think that is
They're hurting the
that
West
is
and
you're just
attacking
doing
the
talking
It's their plan.
points. You're just doing talking
It's not a
points that
talking point.
you're
They
doing
say it
talking
themselves
points
in the
given
mosque.
to you by Israel, my friend.
No, given to me by video, and I don't do
Yep.
I don't talk to Israel. I don't. This is the same delusion that Israel made Trump attack Iran. Now,
Oh my God.
Iran claimed
Everyone knows
they had
this.
enriched uranium. Everyone, no, only the crazy left who will oppose Trump on anything. If Trump says the sky is
I
blue,
think that's silly.
the left has to say he's a lunatic.
All right,
Okay,
let me help
Trump
you with
has
that.
done
Let me help
nothing.
you with that. Can you tell me about
God.
the Iran nuclear deal? Can you tell me about it?
You mean back with Obama when he said they could work for? First of all, he gave them hundreds of millions of dollars. He
It
released
was 1.5
money
billion.
from.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't 1.5 million. It was like
No,
$100
1.5
million
billion with a B.
The sanctions money. Oh, billion. Okay. So whatever he released was a lot of money, and basically that's what they did to raise all the proxies. Okay, it's all Iranian money that attacked Israel and was enriching their
What is Iran's
uranium.
GDP?
Well, what is it again? It's carpets, pistachios, and oil. Okay, was
Yep.
it 8 billion?
That's
$8 billion
it's
in oil.
$400 billion. What do you think
Sorry,
$1.5 billion
Okay.
is doing for them, dude?
So you got the stats. Very good. So you got the
Yeah,
stats.
this is
And
this is
they're a
talking
terrorist
points.
state.
I want you to slow down.
Wait,
I want
a
you to slow
talking
down.
point.
This is
I
why
want you to tell me if
Stop.
Iran is a terrorist state or not. Is Iran a terrorist state
They
or not?
absolutely do have they fund terrorist organizations. I don't deny that.
There you go.
Okay, but
were
listen
they
to me.
working
Listen
towards
to
a
me.
nuclear bomb?
Listen to me.
So, but
Every
listen to
single
me.
time that we go to war, right, we are told what? That these people have weapons of mass destruction. Okay, but you
okay.
still
So you
did
want to
not.
go back to Bush? That doesn't make it wrong now because
Stop.
George Bush was an asshole. That's a
Okay,
fact.
yeah, I know. He was one of
Sorry,
y'all.
sorry about my
and,
life.
and it was Cheney. But second of all,
Okay, with Cheney, right? Because what he had, what was his?
he was
Cheney was going to
CTO
make a
of
lot of
Halliburton.
money on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Heller. Thank you. So yes, but Bush was a bit of a goofball. But that you can't equate the two. We
Okay,
now
stop.
have Iran,
We're
who we know
going
has
off
been
on a
working
tangent.
on a nuclear
I
bomb.
want you to go ahead and address what the deal was that we did with Iran under Obama. What was the nature of that deal?
Are you talking about the Paris Accords? What are you talking about?
No, the Iran nuclear deal.
The Iran nuclear deal was what? No, this is going to be off the top of my head, but and you might be something you're reading in front of you, which could fill me in better. But they were going to be able to have a nuclear enriched. They was going to be able to enrich themselves over 70 or 80% what they would
No,
need for nuclear
That's
bombs.
not true.
They were going to be allowed to have the bomb.
All right, let me tell you the
That was the,
actual. Let me tell you the actual deal.
and
So
where are you getting the
Obama,
facts?
this is
Where are you getting the
this is
facts?
open
Your facts.
record. Okay, this isn't a secret.
No, no such thing. No such thing. So what I've come to understand is by 2026 they would be able to have the bomb because they were going to be allowed to
All right,
proliferate
that
enough
is there's a
nuclear
lot of holes in
material,
this. Okay, the right
and they
has told
refused.
you guys enough to make you angry, but not the
Okay,
whole story.
go ahead then. Go ahead.
Okay, Obama gave them some unfrozen, some frozen assets of theirs. It was their money. It was money going from a bank in South Korea to Qatar. It was $1.5 billion. We unfroze that, and we also did a prisoner exchange. And we also said, hey, if you want some civilian use enriched uranium, we're gonna have the IAEA, an international agency that were part of the enriched uranium community. They were going to have people on the ground 24/7 monitoring their programs to make sure their enriched uranium doesn't go above 3.6 or 3.9%. Okay, that was the deal. And it was a 10-year deal. And we could renew it in 10 years. But the thing that they want you to think is like, oh, in 10 years they can get a nuclear bomb. That's not true. But when Trump pulled us out in 2018, they were still complying. They were complying. They did not enrich uranium past 3.9.
They stopped letting us. Hang on. Were they still allowing us to inspect all of their facilities, or were
Yes.
there some we were not allowed to see?
Yes.
No, that's not true.
Pull your little Googles up.
That's a sticking point.
Pull up your
If you're saying
Googles.
that
You could read the reports from the IAEA.
Google.
From the IAEA.
Google's a leftist operate.
I know you
Look,
guys are brainwashed. You can't find actual real
No,
information.
no. If you're hey, wait a minute. If you're trying to tell me that Iran is a good standing, faithful to their promises nation, you're out of your mind. After
Doug,
the terrorism,
we have
the
the
proxy
IAEA's
terrorism,
reports.
and hey, they just admitted they had nuclear, that they were enriching nucleum over 60%,
I know.
and that they were close to nukes.
What was the timeline? What was the timeline?
I'm talking about weeks ago. I'm talking about a couple of months before, in February,
know.
right before Trump
So
came out.
from 2018 forward, they've been enriching uranium just so that we could have more negotiations with them. So if they were still in it, they would be at 3.9%.
Look,
today.
if you're trying to tell me that Khomeini's a good guy, that Khomeini was being honest
No, but the
and
IAEA,
deliberate, fairly.
is honest, right?
No. Why?
Who's the IAEA?
What are you telling
Do you
me?
know who
Look,
comprises the
Obama,
IAEA?
well, Obama gave. Why
Who's-
did Obama give 10% of our enriched uranium to Russia? Why did he do that? So that they could funnel it to the Middle East. Is that a conspiracy theory? Maybe. But he
Yeah,
did
I've never
give
even
10%.
heard that.
Yeah, they wiped it off Google after it
Okay,
happened.
who is the
Okay,
IAEA?
you're a pretty young guy.
The
You actually
IAEA.
weren't.
The IAEA.
What were you, 9 years old during Obama, and now you talk through stats?
I'm
Look,
very
man, you
flattered.
really left
I'm
this
very
out.
flattered, but I'm 37.
You have a lot of Trump derangement syndrome, man, and you're arguing. You argue Hamas talking points. You showed me a stat from what 16
Dog,
years
you're the
ago
one who told me
when the
30
border was
million
wide
people
open.
came over during Biden, and
You
it's
wanted
nowhere.
you wanted to fund the police. You think
Nobody
Iran
wants to
was
do that
following
either.
the deal? You clearly
Can you
DHS
tell me
and
one
ICE.
politician
That's the
besides
police.
Trump who's defunded the police?
New York defunded the police by about $6 billion. Every major city has moved money, has hurt the police, crippled
New
the
York
police, made the police
has
quit.
record low crime
Every
rates.
blue city has insane crime rates. Oh, you want to talk about the Republican crime rate because it's Democrat cities in Republican states. What are you talking about? Nashville,
At what
Omaha?
level-
What are you trying to say, man? You trying to say the Democrats are the good guys?
Yes.
You're a bunch of Hamas-sorting leftist lunatics. And if you don't understand that Trump is a genuine guy working hard for this country, working for the middle class, no tax on tips, that means nothing to you,
No,
You don't
it
get it,
doesn't.
man. Houses have
95%,
doubled.
95% of
Mass
America saw
migration.
higher
Dude, if you
tax.
don't see mass migration, you're a nut. You
Dude,
live in
you're all
Texas, you
over the
don't
place.
understand?
Let's talk about one thing at
No,
a
I'm just
time.
talking straight at you.
Now, you're
I'll
all
talk
over the
about
place.
anything, but you know what? I'm getting ready to hang up because you really don't get it, man, and you're lost, and you make up things, and you're a Trump
At
delusion
least
syndrome
my
guy.
worldview
I
can be
wish you the best of
fact-checked.
luck. Good night, guy. There's nothing factual about you. Good night, man.
At least my worldview can be fact-checked. This guy's worldview falls apart when I say, hey, show me where 30 million people came across the border during Biden. That's absurd. That's fucking insane, dude. By the way, this whole blue city and red state thing kills me, dude. It kills me. Every single time Republicans run for office, they run on reducing tax rates. What does that effectively do to how much we can spend on police? Guys, if you want to debate, hop in the box. Blue cities give red states a bad name. I mean, show me a red state that can survive without blue cities. They can't. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Yo. Yes.
Okay, what do you like about Trump?
Everything. I get annoyed. I get annoyed with liberals too. But what's up with the TikTok live decorum? Like, I know I'm segueing a little bit, but like,
Would you rather me call his wife a dog?
I mean, I think that's disrespectful. I think that's
No,
I think that's rude.
that's Trump's thing, right?
Never seen it. I just think that like the TikTok decorum. Like, let's talk about. I would love to get into the Trump thing, right? But I'm fresh off of another live, so I'm elevated. You know what I mean?
So you're not ready for this? You want to try again later?
No, I'm trying to talk to you. I'm trying to talk to you like a human being.
Okay.
You got red glasses on. You want to have a conversation or not?
They're orange. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, why is everybody on TikTok so quick to just drop somebody and mute them and then talk shit in the comments instead of actually having a factual conversation, right? Like, we can have a factual conversation. We
The
disagree.
only person's character who I insult up here is Trump.
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you. I want to make that 100% clear. I'm not saying you. Like I said, I'm coming hot out of another live. So I'm not saying you at all. I'm just saying, like, this is the general decorum of
Well, this is Trump's America, right? Like, Trump has shown that this is the most effective way to become a person with power, is to talk shit to your opponents and attack their character.
You can't have a fucking factual conversation.
Is that not true, though? Remember mean tweets? When I say mean tweets, who do you think of?
Okay. There's
Who do you think of? Trump, right?
Sure. Mean tweets are hilarious.
Okay.
But you can't have a factual conversation. You can't have an actual conversation. Like, so you're going to drop me down, and then your mods are going to mute me, and then continue to at me instead of letting me speak, right?
I think that we can do without the like tone policing and the complaints before anything ever happened. Let's just talk.
That's exactly what I said. I told you I was hot out of another live. Like, let's have a conversation.
Okay.
I told you what my grievances were to talk about them before we got into the Trump thing, and you immediately went back, oh, but mean tweets.
So you don't care about mean tweets. You think they're funny, but we need to keep our decorum up here on TikTok Live.
No, I mean, listen, I agree. There's a there's a fine line between mean tweets and funny tweets. The guy gets crazy. I don't. I mean, the the amount of money that has to be paid to the PR person that actually pushes that out. I agree, 100%. I can 100% agree with that as a Trump supporter. Think some of the stuff that goes out is crazy.
So you don't think it's him?
No, it's definitely. I mean, I
Doesn't Caroline Levitt say that is him?
I mean, listen, I think it's him, but I think it's him depicted by well, we saw it. We saw it in like the documentary. It's him rattling things off and then somebody
He doesn't write his own
somebody
tweets.
depicting that and then reading it back to him saying like, is this okay? Like we've seen that. We've seen that. We know that that's what it is.
I have a hard time seeing that there's a person who has anything to do with PR fencing like what he's saying, especially when it's all caps and it's like bad grammar and a lot of like mistyped words or misspellings, and it's literally just attacks and on our democracy or on his political opponents. I think he uses it as a stage for like stochastic terrorism, misleading rhetoric. Like you just heard that other guy tell me that there were 30 million people that came across the border during Biden. Where do you think he got that idea?
I didn't. I wasn't here for it.
Well, someone said it. It's not the first time you'll hear it either, right? Like you honestly think that. How many do you think came across the border during Biden?
I think a lot of people came across the border during Biden.
That's a non-answer.
No, I don't know the answer. That's why I'm telling you. I think a
How
lot
could you
of
possibly
people.
know the answer? So if Biden came up and he
Right.
said, "Okay, there was 3.5 million people," I would say that's probably right, and I would fact check it. And if it's 3.7, I wouldn't hold him against it. But when Trump says 30 million, that is enraging people. That is making people
Right. So
fearful.
hold him against it. So what is the actual fact? So
The
hang on. If
fact
you're
is
gonna
like
hold,
2 to 3
but hang on
million,
though.
maybe
Hang on though. Hang
five.
on though. If you're gonna hold, if Biden said it and you're gonna hold him to the fact, and then you said in the next breath, Trump said it. So what is the
So
fact?
Trump's exaggeration is like by 400%, and Biden, I don't
Okay.
even ever said how much came across, but
Right. Of course he
I
didn't.
well, I mean, again, this isn't something that we run
Biden
on.
didn't even know people were coming across the border, bro.
I don't think so. I think that we looked at the
He was eating
facts
ice
as it was
cream in
happening.
Rehoboth Beach.
Dude, Trump has been seen falling asleep, I think 5 times now this year.
Oh God.
This year.
So now we're segueing into who's eating ice cream and who's falling asleep, right?
Yeah, I think
Let's.
that Trump did a really good job defaming Biden and having you guys think that it's just a joke, like
He
a
should
complete
have.
joke in general. And when we actually ask you guys like meaningful
There
questions,
was no need to defame Biden. Biden did it himself.
I don't think so. I think Biden, if you look at it in throughout the
As
lens of
somebody
history,
from Delaware, he totally fell off as a president.
I don't think so. I think Biden, if you look at it through the lens of history, we'll see that Biden was the most like productive president in our lifetime.
Oh, are you talking about when he called all black super predators, or are you talking about a different time? Right, that was Biden that did
What
that.
does that have something to do with his productivity?
Yeah, I mean it has his productivity as a fucking politician. So Google it. Google it right now. Look at Biden calling all black super predators. Also look up
Okay, so
once you
here's
get
the
done.
fact check. Trump claims Biden called black population super predators for 10 years in the 1990s. The
So what'd you look
facts.
up? So let's compare fact to fact.
Let's do
Now
it.
that you want to have an actual conversation, let's
Let's do it. I've
compare
got
it.
it on the screen. All right,
No.
here.
Provide your source.
It's on the
I
screen.
don't care if you have it on the screen. Let's look at source for source.
So
I'm not gonna
this is
go
oft
through.
repeated by Trump, dating back to 2020 campaign, is untrue. It was Hillary Clinton, then the first lady, who used the term super predator to advocate for the 1994 crime bill that Biden co-authored more than 30 years ago. So we're off to a bad start here.
Co-authored.
Yeah, but Biden didn't say super predator, did he?
We're gonna find out.
Biden did warn of predators in a floor speech, but I don't think that this was in regards to black people. In fact, I don't think people thought at all that this bill was going to have the effect it did on the black population. And if you still look at this
Right. So
today,
what was the point of
Republicans
Biden pushing it?
because we thought this was going to be this tough on crime stance was good, which Republicans still think is good, but we don't. Right? Like you guys are still on tough on crime.
Yeah, we should be tough on crime. We shouldn't
All
be
right.
tough
So
on.
you guys are still for bills like this, right?
No.
Well, okay. In
You're
what
not gonna try to.
ways? What ways
You're
are you
not gonna
not?
try to gotcha.
What kind of ways
They
are you not?
supported the crime bill that Biden also was a. If according to you,
It was bipartisan
co-author.
as hell, right? Like I think just about everyone voted for this.
Predators on our streets.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Can you
my
tie
bad.
that to a certain race?
My bad. Predators on our streets.
And what's the context that you would say ties that to the black race, like you were saying earlier?
Well, the Queen, Hillary Clinton said super predators. Okay. He framed it around youth who lack structure, supervision, and opportunity. Okay.
And it still holds true. And I think this is something that's really absent in the Republican um, uh, like policy
Bro.
prescriptions
I don't
is that
even-
the Republicans do not believe that poverty creates crime. In fact, they exasperate poverty, which causes more crime.
I don't think so. I mean, you had the broken window theory.
What's that?
What do you mean, what's that?
What's the
You're
broken
not
window
familiar
theory?
with that?
No.
So people who are in poverty-ridden areas that have homes are going to repair their homes, that they own their homes. They're going to repair their homes. They're not going to have a broken window in their home.
That's also sounds like a privilege, right? To be able to just fix every
Not a
time a
privilege.
window is broken.
Okay. Let's look up facts so that we're make sure we're talking about facts. But it's not talking about just. I'm pretty sure people were given homes as a test, and from that pilot test, whatever you want to call it, those people actually took care of their block and their community and actually. But I'll find you some facts so that we can talk facts because
I think that
I'm
you're
a
like
little.
I think that you're misconstruing something that has completely no relation to crime or poverty.
100% broken window theory
It's
has
called the broken window fallacy. And it says that the key takeaway is destruction is not profit, it only redirects spending and destroys wealth. Sound economic policy must account for both the seen and unseen consequences of an action. Broken window fallacy, the error of believing that destruction creates wealth.
No, you looked up the wrong thing, bro.
So I'll look up broken window theory.
Okay,
Posits
thank
that
you.
visible signs of disorder like graffiti, litter, or broken windows create an environment that encourages further crime and serious offenses. So when we talk about policies
Exactly what I'm talking about.
that would pay for like the upkeep of a city, that would be a left-leaning thing, right? Because we don't constantly cut funding, cut taxes, and we generally believe in like communal.
You want to have a conversation, or you want to just keep pushing? Like you know that
I'm talking about the thing you're talking about. I don't know how we're not having a conversation.
No, you're trying to push like, oh, this is what the left is leaning. No, there's factual arguments about the broken window theory, and you clearly are not familiar with it. So let's look it up together and let's have a conversation with it before you start saying, what
I'm
is this?
sitting here giving to you my understanding of
No,
it as I look it up.
you're giving Google AI, bro. Look it up. Look it up before you give Google
Have you
AI.
gotten any further than I have?
Yes, I know what the theory
Then
is.
give it to me.
I'm telling you that the theory is that people that own homes in the area are more likely to repair their homes than if there was an area where everybody rents and nothing is taken care of, that there's more crime. In a nutshell. I'm saying in a nutshell. That's it, wrapped in a nutshell. I'm not saying any facts or anything. If you want facts, we can talk about facts, but you're looking at Google AI
Dude, I don't think we need to
and
do a deep
highlighting
dive
some
for this
bullshit.
theory. I don't think we need to. I can try. You can give me
I
your
would love for
source.
you to look at something other than Google
I've got
AI or Wiki.
Wikipedia. What do you
I
got?
would
What do you
love
got? Psychology Today.
anything other than
The broken
Google
windows
AI
theory is
or
defined by
Wikipedia.
1982 by social scientists James Wilson and George Kelling, drawing on earlier research. To Stanford University psychologist Phyllis Zimbardo argues that no matter how rich or poor neighborhood, one broken window would soon lead to many more broken windows being broken.
Exactly what I just said.
I don't know if I give you
Thank you.
that, but disorder
Lead to more
increases
crime.
levels of fear among citizens, which leads to them withdrawal from the community and decreased participation in informal social control. So again, when we think about the party that is trying to lift people out of poverty, the party that is trying to do social welfare programs to keep these types of things under control,
Bro.
the right has done nothing but gut them, gut mental health, gut mental all these things. Y'all have actually literally bankrupted the country. I don't know how this is a point for you.
Because you're misconstruing. You're First of all, you just read it and agreed with my point.
I don't think so.
I
At
do.
Godzilla God King super chatted $20. He meant broken window policing. The caller isn't familiar with it either. It's about sending a ton of cops in areas that are more rundown where there could be more crime.
100%
This lead
not
to
true.
over policing in black neighborhoods.
So do you believe that that's a good thing or bad?
That's not even what the theory means, and you just read it yourself. And where? So show me where in that article that you're looking at that it says over policing. So before you roll your head back on your chair,
This is
show me
my
where it
third
says.
attempt to
So
understand what you're saying, and
so hang on though. So
your
hang on though.
your
Let's
claim
let's
doesn't even
address
coincide
what this
with
idiot
this.
that gifted you $20. I'm glad he got $20. Let's address this. Show the screen. Show the screen again and show where it says over policing in that article.
So
You dropped it down.
broken window policing is
No, you're moving the goalpost.
okay. When we're talking about tough on
No, no,
crime
no.
in the
Go
crime bill,
back.
the
Go
94 crime.
back. Go back. Go back to the original article that you had pulled up and show me where it says over policing. Not Google AI, not some new search that we're doing that's broken window policing. Go back to what we were talking about. Rewind.
Okay. Can you do me a favor and say thank you, April?
No.
Well,
Rewind.
chat, you guys can go ahead and say thank you, April, for the kick. W April's in the chat. Caller, you're welcome to come back tomorrow. It doesn't sound like you were sober, bro. I think you can probably come back. You have a better fair chance at debating when you're sober. W Godzilla God King, by the way. That's way more relevant to the conversation. We started the topic off on the 94 crime bill, and both of the different broken window fallacy and theory didn't really fit that conversation, but this absolutely does. Broken window policing does. All right, the phone lines are open again. If you guys want to call, you're welcome to call in. Heavens to Betsy. Thank you guys for all the likes. We had a false flag nanner earlier, so we kind of got cut at the knees on viewership. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up? What do you like about Trump?
To first start off, I'm a New York City resident, lifelong New York City resident. I was a Democrat my whole life until Trump came along, and also the Democrat, their policies have changed. I have a very big issue with illegal immigration. We have a lot of crime from illegal immigrants in my city.
Can I
We
debate
also
you on
have
that?
policies. Sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna do my very best to pull up how much crime undocumented migrants cause,
Okay.
and I'm gonna guess you've never done that, right?
I have. I'm not. I mean, that's what you want to do. You know, like, you go do it. I also would like to pull up a statistic for you of how many undocumented immigrants are convicted of crimes and are still in our city because of sanctuary city policy. It's over 58,000. That's a large
All right.
number.
All right,
Fif-
so
Right.
look, we can talk about that in a second. What I have pulled up on my screen is all of the crimes compiled by
Mhm.
Customs Border Protection, and when I look at homicide and manslaughter, specifically the year Trump started calling them rapists and criminals, we have 3 whole murders that year. And then we keep going. We have 3 the
Okay.
next year, 2 the next year, 3 the next year. And you guys
So,
believe there's like 30 million of them here, right? So that's
well, I mean,
very low.
there's been 3 murders by illegal immigrants in the last month in my city.
Can you
I mean, so I mean,
those and
just
until those
alone.
are convictions, those will not go in the thing. So
Well, I mean, it's on video. It's on video, right? So like, we could do
okay,
semantics.
so that's a
but,
whole 3 murders. What's in New York?
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
3.
Just in the last month.
That's one of the most
Yeah.
populated
A
cities in
78-year-old and
the
a
world.
78-year-old man, a 78-year-old Air Force veteran was pushed onto the subway tracks for no reason by an illegal immigrant who had been deported 4 times and had been arrested more than 15 times. Again, this is sanctuary city policy. Sanctuary city policy is not anything that we have a vote on. We have no say in this. And I'd like to find some common ground with Democrats who say, I don't know if they say it in good faith, but they do say that, of course, we all want the criminal illegal immigrants deported. Of course, we all want that. What we don't want is the ones who have come here for a better life and who are trying to, raise their families in America in a better environment and there are a lot of good illegal immigrants. I mean, people are people, man. You know, just because their status is undocumented, that doesn't mean they're not God-fearing people.
Sure.
But the problem is,
here's where you're on both sides of the issue right now. So like, if
Of
I
course
actually
I am.
look up the literal convictions of these people, historically, it's literally almost nothing. And if we were to deport
Okay.
every single one of them, it would reduce our
Mhm.
crime by 0%. 0.
But that's never gonna. That's never gonna happen. No, you're never
Okay,
gonna
but
deport
still-
every single one of them.
Still, if we were magicians and that happened, it would reduce crime by 0. So that kind of goes against what you were saying.
But I mean, how could that be true to say that it would reduce it by 0 in the sense that we are seeing illegal immigrants just this weekend, an illegal immigrant stabbed 2 women in Long Island, murdered them with knives,
How many-
big
how
knife.
many-
So
how many
then
murders-
that's one. That's
how
one.
many
If we
murders
got rid
happen
of all
every year?
illegal
How many murders happen every year
I
in the
don't-
United States?
Are you allowed by law? Are you allowed by law, the sanctuary city, to state that the person committing the crime is an illegal immigrant? No, there's blockades on that.
That's not true.
There is blockades on that. You're not allowed
there's
to ask somebody's status, whether
That's
they're
not
in the
true.
country legally or okay. We have laws on that here. We have law. The police are
That's
not allowed to
I know what a
ask that.
sanctuary
They're
city
not allowed
is,
to ask
and that's
that.
not what a sanctuary city is.
Okay, so can you tell me what a sanctuary city is?
Sanctuary city
Can you
means
explain
that
to
if
me?
you make contact with the government and
Not
you are a
government, the police.
non-violent criminal, you will not be
Oh
deported.
my God. Did I just tell you there was 58,000 people convicted of crimes that are here illegally in our city who were violent criminals?
Yeah,
It's
you're
not,
wrong.
What you threw in non-violent. You threw that in, but that's not true. Just because you said that, that's not true.
Listen, I have
That's
the
not
data.
true at all. I just
If
told
we
you.
if we add up
a
every
guy.
single if I add up every single person on this entire chart for the last 10 years, going back to fiscal year 17, it doesn't even add up to 50,000.
It would be like 5. It would just be like after for 10 years, it might be 10 or 12 murders by illegal immigrants. That's ridiculous. Are you hearing what you're
It's
saying?
literally
I
nothing.
just told you in the
Yes.
last month there was 3
Yes.
committed by illegal immigrants in my city alone.
I
One
get that.
city.
I get that. And when we look at all
Okay.
of the numbers, you are the one that
Yes.
needs to show me the proof that there's thousands. There's not. There's like 20.
Well, you can Google it right now. You Google right now how many illegal immigrants are convicted of crimes are in New York City right now. You Google it as we're on the phone, and you tell me what
Okay.
what the numbers
How
are.
many convicted criminals what'd you say, like
Illegal
violent
immigrants.
criminals?
What? Well, you're throwing violence in there again.
Okay,
You're
what do you want?
throwing
Okay,
violence in there
non-violent?
again.
So you want to include property
It
crime?
doesn't matter. What does it matter?
Okay,
What does
okay.
it matter?
How many
You come to
convicted-
another country as a refugee, and then you start committing crimes against the people that took you in, whether it's property crime or not. What if they
I know.
went into
I
somebody's
have
house
the
when
entire
nobody was
chart.
there?
I have the entire chart, dude. I have the entire chart of all of them. I don't need to further Google this.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that
what's the
undocumented
chart?
migrants are 2 to 3 times less likely to commit a property crime and like 3 times less
Here we
likely
go.
to do violent
Well, there's
crimes?
also 300 million Americans and 30 million illegal immigrants.
This is 1
so
to
if you want to
1.
put numbers against numbers,
No,
of
no, no,
course
no.
they're going
This
to
is
commit
1 to
lower
1.
crimes.
This is 1 to 1.
Yeah,
That's
1
not,
to 1.
It's not
All
the
right.
case.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Right. So your whole thing with illegal immigration is it's not a detriment to this country. Not only we're not just talking about
It's
crime.
completely
We're
benign.
also talking about
Yes.
we're also talking about workers. We're also talking about jobs. Union work in New York City is at its lowest level ever. It's at its lowest level ever. The reason why is because illegal immigrants have taken over the construction
That's a
industry.
lie, too.
Those are not. It's not a lie. I'm a union guy for 25 years. It's not a lie.
Hey,
I'm
man.
also a business rep for the union.
Okay.
So but you can't
For the
tell me it's
first
not
time,
true.
for the first time in U.S. history, what does the leadership of the NRLB consist of right now?
What does it consist of right now? What?
Is it
Well,
partisan or is it
what-
bipartisan?
I would say it's probably partisan
For
because
the first time
of
in history,
who's
right?
Well, because of who's in charge of the country. You
Yeah.
don't see that it's a reset. That it's like a reset against what
So
has
you
been
don't see a
happening.
correlation there?
No, I do see a correlation of the American people voting for somebody who said, "We're not. This is not working. This is not good for Americans.
How many
it's not
jobs
good for
did,
American
how
workers."
many private jobs did Trump create last year? Can you Google that for me?
No, that's ridiculous. How many private jobs did Trump? We're talking about illegal immigration. Could we stick on the topic, or
Yes,
we
you're
going to
saying that
Trump-creating
migrants
jobs?
have somehow caused your unions to be in some sort of lesser state.
All union work is at this lowest level ever.
I know, because of
and
Trump,
it correlates,
not
and
migrants.
it correlates with illegal slave wage labor.
That does
it
not
correlates
correlate.
with that. Why would an American not want to join a union and get full benefits, get a pension, and get top pay? Why would they
What
want
does-
to do that?
what
Why
does
would they
Trump
not
think
want
of
to? They would
unions?
choose that every time.
What does
they
Trump
would
think of
choose that every
unions?
time.
What does Trump think of unions?
What What does Trump think of unions? I think Trump supports American workers. That's what I
pretty
think.
a
I think
damning
Trump
non-answer.
supports American workers. That's what I think.
That's a damning
You know,
non-answer.
but you're veering off the topic again of the legal immigration
I'm helping
and how
you
it
think.
hurts America. No, it
doesn't.
hurts America. There's nothing.
I'm gonna give
the
you
only people who make out well with illegal immigration are the top 1%. And when
It's not true.
and even Cesar Chavez, had chased illegal immigrants back across the Mexican border because when he started the farm workers union, who were the people that were undermining all of their wages that they had worked so hard for? Who was it? It was illegal immigrants that came here and worked for lower wages and no benefits.
Okay.
Right? The only people that prosper from illegal immigrants are the top 1%.
I'm gonna help you become
top
less
1%.
mad and enraged. Okay, I'm gonna help you out.
I'm not, nobody's enraged, man.
For every 500,000 people that we deport, does that
Uh-huh.
add or remove U.S. citizen jobs?
It adds U.S. citizen jobs, and
Incorrect.
it also it definitely does, and it also ups the wage of the
That's
job.
also incorrect.
And I have examples of that because all these pork factories and meat factories down in Mississippi, way up in Michigan, when they were raided and they were taken out, those people the very next day applied for those positions, and they said this is a good union job.
Okay.
We never had the opportunity.
So I'm going to read off some
apply for this
statistics.
before.
You were very emotional,
Right.
sir. I'm going to challenge you to chill
here
out
we
just a
go.
little bit. All right. So for every
I'm in the real world. You're in.
I don't think so.
picking statistics. from different sources.
500,000
Right.
deportations means 44,000 U.S. citizens also lose their jobs. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
which is the opposite
it's
of what you
supply
said.
and demand. So it's supply and demand. Like if you get rid of 500,000, then the wages are going to go up and the positions are
also
going to
not
be
true.
open. But I mean, it's also we're talking construction here. So I thought it was like they came here
Have
to
you
just
ever
do
Googled
jobs
this?
Americans don't want.
Have you ever
Americans
Googled
don't want,
this?
right? These are
Have you ever
jobs Americans don't want. Americans don't want to be carpenters.
You are
They
flailing.
don't want to be CDL drivers either, right?
You're
Americans
flailing.
don't want to be
Can you
CDL
find me-
drivers.
can you
They
find
gave
me-
out 60,000 CDL licenses
Dog,
to
you are
undocumented
screaming
immigrants.
and steamrolling. Okay?
Right.
For
Right.
every
Because you're
500,000
wrong.
people that we deport, 44,000 U.S. citizens lose their jobs, and we also see wage decline. So here's the analysis from Penn Wharton. It says that high-skilled workers, which comprise 63% of a working population, would see their wages fall by 0.5% or $494 over the 4-year policy and 2.8% over the 10-year policy. So that is a reduction in wages for 63% of
Oh
America.
man, you know what? I mean, that common sense would tell you if you deported illegal immigrants, then the wages would decrease for Americans.
No,
yeah,
I
so
think
that makes sense. I mean, that totally
that
makes
doesn't
sense. You know?
that does not make sense because it doesn't happen in a vacuum.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, you know, what you just said is nonsense. I mean, it's complete and utter nonsense.
All right,
If
well,
I'm working
can you
on a
find
job,
me an economist
listen,
that
if I'm
says-
working on a job and an illegal immigrant is working on the same job as me, and the employer knows he's illegal, and he says to him, "I'll give you the same wage. I'll give you a good wage, but what I'm not going to give you is I'm not going to give you health care benefits. I'm not going to give you a pension. I'm not going to give you 401k. I'm not going to give you insurance in case you get hurt on a job. I'm not going to give you all these things, right? That's another $40 an hour that an American citizen is entitled to, but an illegal immigrant is not entitled to.
Sir,
so
you're
who's
at a
losing
10.
it? Would I
You're
take
at
a
a 10.
job? Would
Let's
I
get
take
you
a
down to
job
like a
like that?
4.
Would I say?
Let's get you down to a
Right.
4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? There's no economist that agrees with you. Not a single one.
You know, I don't know you personally, and I definitely am not going to disrespect you. I'm not doing that because it's your platform. You haven't disrespected me. But could you tell us, like, what jobs have you done in your lifetime? I'm older than you. What jobs have you done in your lifetime? Have you worked in the construction industry by any chance?
I have owned a construction business.
Okay, so you know, like you're well aware of illegal immigrants in the construction industry. You're well aware of that, right?
Yes, but what you're not seeing is when these people take a paycheck from me, they go and they buy things, which also stimulates
Okay.
other businesses.
Mm-hmm. They don't save their money and buy a home back in Mexico or El Salvador. They don't do that.
Even if they
They
do,
spend all their money in America.
that strengthens the U.S. dollar when they do that.
No, it doesn't. I mean,
Have you
taking
ever
the money
Googled that?
from here, and saving it and sending it to a foreign country, does not help America.
Have you
That
ever
doesn't help
Googled that?
America at all.
Have you ever Googled that?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I Googled that.
You might Google that real quick.
Well, like I said, I don't live in the Google world. I live in the real world, and I've been living here for a while.
I think you're
And so,
in a echo
your
chamber.
facts are like, no, man. I mean, like, you're saying that they don't send remittances back home every week?
You can Google
you're
the
talking
effects
to somebody,
of that.
You're talking to a real New Yorker. You're talking to somebody whose
And you're talking to a
grandparents came
Texan.
here through Ellis Island. They came through Ellis Island. My grandparents came through Ellis Island. And there was a jail in the bottom of Ellis Island. Unless your people came here to collect you and had to sign paperwork saying that they were responsible for you, if you went on any public benefits or anything like that, then they would be responsible to pay that back.
That has
right?
nothing
so
to
there's
do
a
with what we're
system-
talking about.
There's a system here where it works. Illegal immigration is not a system that works. Do we not yet forget the open invasion and Biden ordering the DHS to literally cut down the barbed wire and the barriers when
That was a
Texas
publicity
put their
stunt.
National Guard there and said, no, we're getting invaded here.
That was
We're
political theater.
absolutely getting invaded. There's no vetting. There's no any. We don't
That's
know
political
where
theater.
these people are coming from. It's insanity.
I
What
know
we have
that
to
you
do
got really
now-
upset about that
Yeah,
and really
right.
big in your feelings, and that's what it was supposed
Right,
to
but
do.
you like I said, you don't really do anything but say, "Can we Google that? Or can we chat GPT that?" You
Yes,
own the
it's called
construction
critical
company.
thinking.
So
Because
you
if you
own the
just take
construction
politicians
company-
at their word, you're going to be as angry as you are.
No, man, I'm not angry. I'm
Yes, you
just
are.
telling you like it is. I'm just telling you like it is, and you
You're-
don't like
you're a
that.
back
I
at
might
a
be a
10.
little aggressive because I'm a New Yorker, but that's just my savoir-faire.
You
That's
have
not
no
like,
hope.
have I disrespected you? Have I
No,
disrespected
you're
you?
still at a 10, though. You're screaming in my ears.
I'm not screaming, man. Have I disrespected you?
No,
Have
but
I
you need
disrespected the
to
platform?
realize that the things that these politicians feed you, what if they were just trying to enrich themselves and make you hate somebody else?
So you're thinking that thought in my whole life never crossed my mind, that politicians lie and enrich themselves. I've never thought
Yeah,
that.
Dan.
I put
So
all
you
my
don't think
faith
that this could be
into
the
them.
case?
I just told you I was a Democrat my whole life. I told you that. I feel like
I
the
don't
party
care.
left me. I feel like the party left me. I voted for Barack Obama twice. You know, there are definitely 30 million illegal immigrants in the country. They've
there's
used
not.
the number 11 million. That's easy. Yale did a study. Yale students did a study that said it's either 25 to 30 million easy
No, they didn't.
off the top. They did too. And also, the number 11 million has been being used since Bill Clinton. So we had Bill Clinton said it was 11 million illegals inside the country. Then we had George Bush, who was 2 terms, who said we have 11 million illegal immigrants in the country. Then we have Barack Obama for 2 terms, who
So
said
where
there's
do
11
we find the
million.
real number?
Right, but all this time, there's no more illegal
Where
immigrants
do we
came in.
find the
It's
real
still
number?
11 million.
Where can I find
It's
that
still
number?
11 million.
Where can you find that number?
You should find it. Because 11 million is the magic number that they use, that they've been using
Have you
for
ever
25,
have you ever
30 years.
have you ever like studied this and like looked at the data?
Yeah, I definitely have studied it. I definitely have studied it.
Where's it? What's one of the websites you looked at?
CPB, NewYorkCity.gov.
Okay, so
there's a
when I
million
look at
things that you
CBP,
could- there's a
this
million
is what
things
I
you can
get.
look up.
This is what I get, and
Right.
this is the number on the screen,
Right.
and it literally tracks it because what we do is we track deportations as well, and Biden did a lot more deportations than Trump, right?
Well, when you said deportations by Biden, do you mean like turning people away at the border, or are you talking
Both.
about interior enforcement?
Are you
talking about
okay?
interior?
So either the border was wide open or what wasn't. So if you think
Yeah.
the border was wide open, they would have to be internal.
Well,
right?
of course it wasn't. We didn't all watch that. Like, we definitely did not see all that.
So
we
you're
didn't
saying
see
it was
$7
wide open and
billion
he
dollars-
did no
We didn't
external.
see $7 billion spent in New York City alone in the hotels
You're
for 2 or
screaming,
3
dude.
years. We didn't see any of that.
You're
Like,
screaming.
none of that was true. The border
Yes.
definitely wasn't open. And
So-
Kamala definitely wasn't appointed
Okay,
the border czar.
Can you be
None
serious
of
for
that
1
happened.
second?
Like,
Can you
none
be
of that
serious for
happened.
1 second?
Right?
So
Yeah,
if the
right.
border was wide open, so they all had to be internal deportations, right?
when you're turned around at the border, it's not considered internal deportation.
So the border
We have
wasn't
never seen
open.
we have never seen a president or ICE do an operation like they have. Going around getting the illegal immigrants out of here
Trump still
internally.
hasn't
We have
exceeded
never, even
Biden's
Barack
numbers.
Obama. Barack Obama was considered the chief deporter.
I know.
But if you look at the statistics, all he did was turn people away at the border.
That's also
they
not
actually
true.
weren't in here. They
That's
actually
not true.
weren't in the country.
You were lying.
Well, you can look it up, and
I
then
have.
you'll find out it's true.
I have
it's
looked it
actually
up.
true. And on top
20%
of
of
it,
his
we were
deportations are
already
at the
backed
border.
up. We were already backed up 10 years in
Dude,
immigration
you're
court
just
before
steamrolling,
Biden
dude.
got in.
Let's listen to my
We
numbers.
were backed up 10
listen,
years.
listen to these numbers, okay? 60% of Obama's deportations were criminals, people here. Trump's 70% are non-criminals. All of them have no crime.
Here we go. Oh, so does having a final deportation order make you a non-criminal?
Yes.
If you went
because
through
those are
due
civil.
process,
Those are civil.
if you went through due process and you went through your whole due process and they found that your asylum claim was not adjudicated, was not okay, and
That's
they
still
said,
not
well,
criminal.
now you have a final order of
Correct.
deportation, and
Non-criminal.
you still stay here for 4 or 5 years after that, and they'd come pick you up. Now you're going to say, wait a minute, this guy, he never committed a crime, but I thought the whole thing was about getting your due process. You know, but it's not about getting your
You're
due
all
process.
over the
And then,
place.
well, here we go. And then even when you do commit a crime, the Democrats put up a bunch of laws that nobody voted on that protects you from, instead of ICE getting you from the prison or from the jail. No, that's not what they do. They put you back on the street. They put you back on the street after you're convicted, after you've served your sentence.
That's not a conviction.
We don't have no ICE detainers are
You said
honored
it right
in New York City.
the first time.
None.
You are
None.
if you simply just checked any of this stuff that you're espousing, you would be like 10 times less angry.
Yeah. And if you weren't so biased on one side and so pro-illegal immigrant and saw it from a different perspective, instead of saying like people are Nazis, racists, and fascists, which, you know, like I told you, my parents came to Ellis Island. I have nothing but love for immigrants.
If I was in
illegal
1930s,
immigrants is a bad thing. They're
Bub.
not vetted. We don't know who they are.
That's not
we
true.
have no idea who they are. The
not
whole reason that countries, you know, the whole reason in the history of the world that countries formed armies. The reason a country has an army is to enforce the territorial integrity of their country. That's why, so that other roaming countries or other people don't just ram right in and come right in. Without a border, you don't have a country. So Joe Biden completely, like, first of all, he wasn't even
You still
there.
haven't
But
told me-
anyway, the Democratic Party has gone nuts.
Stop.
Completely
Did Joe
fucking
Biden
nuts.
turn away a bunch of people at the border? Did he do that?
Everybody saw Joe Biden's open border policy
So,
with their own eyes.
can you answer that question directly?
Everybody saw the
Can you-
strain
can
on
you answer
cities
that?
across the country.
Bob,
Everybody saw Chicago's
stop?
budget.
Can you
Everybody
stop?
saw everything.
Stop. Answer that question directly. Did Joe Biden
You're
do
being
most of his
dishonest, my
deportations
friend.
at the border?
No.
So he did most of his deportations inside the border?
According to Mayorkas, 87% of people that came to the border were allowed to come into the country.
That's not true.
Okay, everything I say is not true, and everything you say is true.
Yes, I have the
You know.
data.
Okay, so look at the data and look at where CPP went absolutely ballistic and insisted that Mayorkas tell them how many people there.
All right. W. Marika's in chat for the kick. This is the data, and I'm sure you guys have seen this a million times. But Biden kicked out 50%, Trump kicked out 47%. None of this makes any sense. It's everything and nothing. Joe Biden is both the most evil criminal on earth and also the most incompetent person on earth. He both had an open border and all of his deportations were at the border. But when you ask them in a different light, none of his deportations are at the border. They were all internal. Joe Biden did more deportations than Trump still. Trump is still having a hell of a go at it. If you guys simply went off of who enforced deportations the most, you would just vote Democrat, but you vote for the people who rhetorically align with you, the people who hate the same people you do. You can't have a conversation with these people because they're so angry all the time. They're just so wrapped up in insanity. Do y'all remember that show? What was that show? It was like Filthy Jobs or Nasty Jobs. I think I should be on that show. Are they getting more and more desperate and angry? Yeah, all of this falls apart. Like everything that they talk about, the Trump administration falls apart when you just fact check it. I want to see that Marika. They hate facts, chat. They hate it. They hate looking things up. They think Google is a liberal machine. They live outside of reality. I don't know why it believes that. I wonder if that's a curse word in a different language. Chat, if you're a Trump supporter and want to debate, hop in the box. Come tell me why you like Trump.
Hey, I'm so glad you got back.
Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
No, but I am from Texas, and I just wanted to ask that caller if he knew how much money migrants give to the economy in Texas and California, and how important they are to our economy. And one of the reasons that we need a pathway to citizenship is so that the people doing the dairy farm work don't get screwed for an entire days of work and don't get paid for it. There is no way for the migrants. They can't go to the police. They can't go to El Jefe. They can't go to anybody, and they are important and a large part of our economy. And if we don't have them, Gen X, millennials, all of them, Social Security is over, and it is just a done deal. So I was just calling to give you a little support. Appreciate you. It's a person who can't sleep's problem. So I appreciate you a lot, and you guys have a good night.
Anytime. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That's awesome.
What's up, Artie?
I was trying to warn you about your live earlier. I actually saw the warnings. It was weird. I actually saw the warnings pop up, and I was like, "No, pickle!" I'm like in the comments typing "pickles" end the call, and then it went down, and I felt really, really bad about that. So I'm sorry. Oh my gosh.
Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Hey, how you doing today, sir?
Doing good. Why do you like Trump?
Oh, I like a lot of things about him. I'm just trying to find out. I just got on here again. I talked to you once before. I had a good conversation with you. I was trying to find out. You keep talking about the Biden and who would you say, Obama deported more people. Are you okay with those deportations, or are you only are you against those two?
So when Obama did deportations, 70% or 60% were like criminals. I think that's okay. But when Trump's 70% are non-criminals, I think that he's just targeting anybody and everybody. And he's also done a lot of things to damage the system in place that make them beneficial. So when he lifted the veil between the IRS and ICE, and he's allowing people to be pursued because of their tax records, the taxes that they pay into the system that help the economy, that help make us more solvent. Now we have lost all of that trust. We are going to see less and less people file their taxes and pay into the system. And I would argue that like the party of family values is also just tearing families apart, that we're here civilly being constructive members of society.
Right, but we got to also agree that when you come across, you're risking your own. They know the rules. If you get captured, you get caught, and you do, it's kind of like a drug dealer. Not quite. I don't want to really compare them to a drug dealer, especially one that's just coming over with good intentions.
I
But
compare
when
it to people who speed. So I think that if we enforced any law to like 100% and demonized the fuck out of anybody in that regard, it's not helpful to society. It's a bad
I think
use
it's.
of our resources.
I mean, I think we might want to go bump it up a little bit more than speed. And I mean,
I think speeding's more
I get what
deadly.
you're saying.
Speeding is far more worse.
In a way. I
In
mean,
every
I
way.
guess if you're doing well, I mean, if you're doing, if you're doing 56 and a 55, it's not exactly,
But
you don't get
that's
pulled over
breaking the
for
law,
that.
right? Like you absolutely can't stand when somebody comes across and they're here without an inspection at the border, and that's enough for them to be deported, which is a
No,
huge
I
waste of
really just,
resources.
I kind of agree. It's kind of the effect of America being so great. People are sneaking into our country. It's so great they're sneaking in.
There's
I
countries
want
that
people to
pay
come.
people to come to their country.
Yeah, like Ireland's one of them. Ireland, you can literally go to, if you're young enough,
Why do you think
there's
they
an
do
age
that?
limit. Well, like Australia's wanting to grow their economy,
Yeah,
right?
so like
And
you're admitting
but
that these people grow our economy?
I think yes and no. Yeah, I see why the argument can be made for it. But even without the
It's a no-brainer. There's no argument to be made against it. It's 100% they add to
no,
our
I
economy, our
think
GDP, our taxes, our schools, everything they add.
right. But we can talk about how we're the ones that are here illegally are taxing much. I mean, I'm one of the people that don't think you should pay taxes until you're 18. I think we're taxed way too heavily. I mean, we're nickel and dime a lot. I mean,
I
it's
think that
got
that's just
way
rhetoric
out
from
of
the
control.
right. There's no instance.
No. I don't. I'm not talking about rhetoric. I'm talking about paying like what do we pay in percentage in taxes? Was it
Uh,
like 30% right now? Probably.
no. I
You
think
don't think so? I
when you
mean,
look at like the top of people, Amazon pays like effectively $0. There's a bunch of huge companies that pay $0, and
yeah.
Trump has done a lot
Companies
of
weasel
stuff
out of
to
it. Okay,
enable
yeah.
them and then tax us more. So even with no tax on
Yeah,
tips, no
as the
tax on Social
individuals, yeah.
Security, we have a 95% of America that saw an increase in taxes this year, despite those things, because it was just a con.
Mine decreased this year. I made about the same amount of money this year as I did last year. I made slightly more. When I say this year, I mean when I file my taxes this year in 2025. I made slightly more money this year in 2025. Um,
But we're talking about 95%
I
of
mean,
America, not just you.
yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, I hadn't looked at all that. I look at my individual. That's kind of what I vote for. My individual thing,
Mhm.
I did receive for the first time actually a very small refund for the first time in probably 7 or 8 years, and I made about the same amount of money. But no. When you pay people over, the one thing I can say about it, like if I don't know what the age limit is for Australia, but if you paid I don't know if Australia pays you to go over, but I know you can go over. They're really
There's no
big
other
about.
country
I
that
don't
is
know
in as
all.
much debt as we are, considering how rich we are. So when I think about
Yeah,
taxes, I don't just think about me. I think about how will the economy be affected by the types of tax cuts that Trump and Republicans run on. And the country is going to see a ton of inflation, a huge increase in the wage gap or the wealth gap. And honestly, we just have to print more and more money the more tax cuts Trump does, which causes inflation, and also Trump's tariffs. So you're not able to exactly see how much you paid in tariff money this last year, but I promise you, it whittles away at those increases you saw in your return.
I think it's ridiculous when he use it as a thing for like 80-50 or 80% on blah blah blah. But I do think our tariffs need to be, because we are the most powerful country. We do produce a lot more of most, besides China producing a lot of stuff.
We produce
You
almost
know,
nothing.
what
We produce tech services.
we produce. Are you talking about what, China or us?
Us.
You know, we produce a lot of food that goes to other countries.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, as a majority,
And
there's absolutely no reason you should see a dynamic where there is a trade deficit the other way around. So Trump crying that all of these countries have trade deficits with us, that we buy more from them, they buy from us. There's no way that that would ever be reversed, and convincing half of
yeah, I
America
don't know
that
what
that's
the
what
answer
needs
for
to
that is.
happen
I,
is silly.
well, yeah, like I kind of feel bad for a poor country that would get tariffs too, because if you tariff China on stuff, their people don't. And I'm not trying to put China down. I mean, like it's the Chinese individual. I don't agree with the Chinese government. I think it's a little extreme with some stuff. But
I think the Chinese
the
government
Chinese,
is highly propagandized. They are far better than us in every way, almost.
well, except for like their unemployment rates for like their youth and stuff, they definitely their quality of life is not as good as ours.
That's not true.
Our quality of yeah, it is.
It's literally not.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not true. It depends on how you measure it. The way I measure it, yeah, is
How are you measuring it?
far as having me just getting up every day, having access to a car, having access to a job. Even if I don't like my job, it's pretty easy to go get. I mean,
You know they have
and this ain't a
universal health care,
Democratic
right?
Republican.
And they have like homes
Yeah,
just given to
but
them.
but I don't think universal health care is a great thing necessarily.
How is it not great?
Well, okay, how do I explain this? I mean, I think we got to pay for things. So if I really believe if everything's, I'm not saying our healthcare is great. Let me make that clear. I think something's got to change. It's way too expensive. But we do have the best medicine and best doctors are in the U.S.
It's not true.
overall. Yeah, it is. That's
Have you
why
ever
other
looked at?
countries come here.
Have you ever Googled that? It's
Maybe.
not true. We're 50th out of
Well,
all the
yeah,
developed
but
countries. We are 50th.
yeah, but we also in that same list. It's also got Cuba above us, and we know that's not true.
They
We
just
know Cuban medicine.
they are far
We know
advanced
Cuban medicine.
in medical research, but they're not more advanced in medicine.
Right, and our problem is how expensive it's gotten, and I don't know exactly how to fix that morally, because I think if you do come up with a good medicine, let's, God willing, we all wake up tomorrow and cancer's cured. We don't want it to cost $1 million for each pill to cure cancer. I don't look. I have no clue. I can't even.
If it were up to Republicans, it absolutely would be the case that cure would cost them $1
No, I
million.
don't think. I don't think. I
Unfettered
don't
capitalism
think so.
is the keystone of republicanism.
Maybe a little bit. I mean, are you like anti-capitalist?
No.
Okay. I mean, I was about to say. I mean, it's a touchy subject because we're talking about people's lives.
Yeah, I know.
Should people have to pay?
I think it's an absolute
it's
no-brainer.
hard. It's really.
If you actually sat down and looked at the facts of like what it would cost to have like a single payer system, you would save money. We would have like a longer life expectancy, like immediately. We would have less homeless people. We would have all this other stuff. All of these things would be like
I think it
relief.
Well, our biggest homeless issue is not the Medicaid. I mean, medical care, not Medicaid, but medical care.
It is the biggest
Our
issue.
biggest. I think it's really drugs.
Okay, but still, that would fall under universal health care.
Okay, yeah, I don't want that to fall under universal health. I don't want to pay for people to get off of drugs. Just
So
don't give them.
I do. I would rather live in a society where we don't see so many people homeless and struggling with drugs. I think that I think that you can be resentful towards the idea and culturally be against it, but it would be a loss for you. It would be just.
I used to be more. I did. I used to be more resentful to people, and it's a recent change for me. I used to be more of, oh, they just need help and stuff, but it's like, dadgum, man. I'm doing the right thing. You go do the right thing.
Yeah,
You know, especially
that's not a
yeah.
answer.
Now,
That's not a fix. So that type of cultural nonsense that is prevalent on the right costs us money. Costs us more money.
with the what I don't know what the answer is for the drugs either. I mean, we just keep inventing. I mean, somebody keeps creating ones. Not it ain't necessarily me and you. I don't want to say like we as in regular average Joe people here. But people keep making drugs better. Back in their 60s and 70s, everybody was anti-pot, and that looks extreme now. But they kind of
I
might have
think
been on to
conservatives are
something.
still
But
anti-pot, right?
yeah, I'm anti-pot.
Why are you anti-pot?
I'm not. I don't think. I think anytime you take something that makes you a little out of your head.
Are you
Look, people
anti-alcohol?
say it's just a little bit, yeah.
Do you drink?
I hadn't had a drink in over a year.
So I think that you're just kind of in this thing where you've been maybe victim to like some messaging against weed, but like weed easily
No,
is
it's a
far
recent thing
less
for me. I
harmful than
don't
alcohol. Easily.
I don't meet people that agree with me on this unless they're like 95. I don't know if I've ever. I
Just
mean,
old
really, I
heads
think
that were
most.
alive during that.
Yeah,
Where
maybe. You know,
can you think of like
don't.
the
I don't.
families
I
that were
mean,
torn apart because like they found out their child was poking smut? Like, you know how silly that sounds to us nowadays? Like how fucking
right. It
weird
does.
that
It does.
is.
I'm not. Look, I'm not saying take them, lock them away for 10 years. I'm not even saying that didn't happen. I'm just. It's just maybe it's just not for me. I think it's a little crazy that people feel like they got to have it. I think
It's one of the less addictive drugs. It's not habit
yeah,
forming.
maybe. I mean, but I know people that tell me they can't go to work without it. They can't. They smoke it on every work break and every lunch break. It's just it's sad to
I know
me. I
people who
mean,
do the same thing with
I'm
drinking.
not. Yeah, absolutely they do. I think I'm going to tell you. I think alcohol is worse. I
Yeah,
think they both
easily.
can be abused, and I think they
So
can be both
if
celebrated.
you
But I think a pothead's life is not
a
great. Now,
I would say
go
that we
ahead.
would see
Sorry.
far less DWIs and fatal crashes that we see. We have 48,000 people who die from crashes every year. I don't think people are doing that on weed, man. Just don't think it
You
happens.
don't. I mean, I look. I've not looked into the study of that. I think that people driving high is not good.
I think it's not great either, but I think it's far less harmful than, and it's also a replacement
Yeah.
for it. So, for the first time in U.S. history, we've actually seen the society as a whole is consuming more of the green stuff than they are alcohol, and I think that we can see that in the numbers of fatalities and the number of people. Like, I could totally imagine myself living in a household where my parents poke smut every day, but if they drank every day to the same degree, it would be a different dynamic. I think that they would be completely horrible
Yeah, I
parents.
think they both have their different problems. I think with pot, you have more families that pot becomes their number one priority. I mean, I've seen that happen. That's not every case. I'm
But
not
it's
going to sit there and say that's
benign.
every case,
I
but
think it's benign.
well, you've seen it happen though, like where people like they tend, but that's any addictive thing though.
But pot,
I
like
mean,
nobody
look,
nobody like steals cars to buy more weed. Like I don't think that's a thing. Like I don't think people commit crimes to get their next hit of weed. That's I don't think that's in there. Like I up until recently I poked smut every day and it was so cheap. It was a non-issue.
I don't know what the price of pot is, man. I know that people. I have met a lot of people that they will skip. You know, they come on, man. They're not the most reliable people. I'm not saying all of them, but they're not exactly the best. I'm just anti pot mentality, the pothead people. I'm just one of
I
those
don't think there's
people,
anything that
you
can
know.
really justify that. Maybe I think you're just like saying that is pretty damning, like, you know, that you're just kind of against it, but I don't think you can like
No, they
substantiate
come.
that.
They're losing a lot of people. Look, if somebody smokes for every now and then, but still, I mean, let me clarify. If somebody smokes it, they go out to Vegas and they get a little high or something. I'm not necessarily. They ain't for me, but I'm not necessarily mad at them. But the people that smoke it every day, it's like, come on, dude. I don't want to smell it. I don't want to walk into a city and just smell it all the time. I don't want to. It's kind of like I don't want to smell beer all the time either, though. You know, I'm not saying we should lock them, put them
Have
in
you
prison,
seen
lock
the
away the key
economic
either, though.
effects of what happens when people legalize that substance in their state? The first year that Colorado had it legalized, they had a tax
Absolutely right.
refund. They
Who was
gave
the first one
taxes
to
to
do it?
people. They gave it back.
Yeah, who? I mean, dude, I agree. I'm just saying I don't like potheads. I see that. I think it's pretty. I just wish that was the other way of doing it. I don't know what the answer is for that. But who was the first ones to do it? Was it like Washington or Colorado? Like, or they both do it like pretty much the same time. They
I don't
both
know.
made money. I mean, congratulations to them. I
And in
mean,
every state
on
where it's
that.
illegal, you're enabling the cartel to make that money.
Maybe. I mean,
There's no maybe.
I think that. I think the cartel's probably not. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think the cartel's more into pot since it's.
Well, now that we've
I think they're
legalized
more
it in a lot of
likely.
states, it's much less of their market, and they've moved on to worse.
I,
But Texas just made it illegal again.
yeah.
That is absolutely now a market for the cartel.
Yeah. Well, I hate to say it like this, but I think gosh, I feel like the drug teacher in the 8th grade, but I do think it's that slippery slope. I think it does lead to are we going to legalize cocaine next? You know, I mean, then we'll be like, well, cocaine ain't really that bad. It's a natural plant too.
Can you do me a favor and
You
like
know?
abbreviate some of those hard drugs for TikTok?
Oh, I don't know what the abbreviation for
Like
that is.
the C drug or something. You can say that.
Okay, yeah. I'll call it the C drug or powder or whatever you want me to call it.
Yeah. So, like,
I'm sorry, I
think
didn't think about that. I'm sorry.
we can look at the effects of how other countries have done like safe injection sites or harm reduction plans, and in every case, I'd say it's a win, and it takes away from the illegal business of like the black market. And I think that most conservatives just can't really get past that notion. I don't think that there's any
Oh, it's so hard.
I don't think there's any actual uh, uh, like sensical logic to it. There's just the over demonization of it, and I think that also like the use of shrugs is also a symptom, not exactly um, like uh, something that just happens in a vacuum. So if we have a portion of society on the lower end who's homeless that does these types of things, we demonize the shit out of them. But if you look at all of the rich people in the country, probably Trump himself, probably all of Trump's goons, especially his son, Don Jr., they all do that substance. Especially them.
Oh,
They're rich
no,
people and they
but-
glamorize it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the old thing. Is like, what name something that's different for rich or if you're poor. I mean, I agree. I'm against it for rich or poor. I think it's worse if you're poor. At least you're not. You know, if you're rich enough to do it, at least you're not hurting your family as much. Maybe. I mean, I'm not saying it's like dramatically worse. I do. But I say that, but I also say that a lot of rich. What do the rich do? They make a lot of sacrifices. There's people out there that are very good at what they do, and if they worked a little bit more, they would have more. You know, but they're fine. I'm not knocking them for doing that. Family time's more important. It's not all about being.
I think it's just a double
you know what I'm saying?
standard. And if you really try to think of it in that light, that it's a double standard, I think you'd have a different outlook on it.
What's the double standard now?
It's like you demonize poor people for using that drug, but when rich people do it, it's okay.
No. Maybe I misspoke there. I think it's wrong for both of them to do it. I think it's not as bad if it's hurting you financially too.
I think no matter
It's an
what,
extra stripe.
even if you're rich, you're causing harm to yourself and someone else.
Right. That's why I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, if you're rich and doing it, you're most likely not we're leaving pot here to the side. But let's say like people that you know what I forgot what we said we was gonna call it, but harder drugs. the people that do harder drugs, they tend to cost more. I could be wrong. They tend to cost more, and they tend to, they're the ones that are walking over pieces of metal to scrap it. They tend to lose their jobs. They're more dangerous. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that pot is better than the. Is,
Pickles, could you
I
ask
mean,
him
it's
about
worse
the
than harder drugs.
mushrooms for
I can definitely
PTSD?
agree with you on that. I just wish we didn't have it, but it's here. I mean, I just don't want it around me. At least we could have it around. I don't know, just keep it at home. Maybe I'm not. I just don't want it as I'm going to the park or going to the movie theater or stuff like that.
I think it's a non-issue. Like
When I go,
if you're cool with cigarette smoke, which I don't think we're gonna outlaw anytime soon, I think that the ganja is much more benign.
oh man, it's annoying in New York. It's everywhere in New York. It's all I do is smell that. I love New York so much, and all I do is smell it over there. It is annoying. Now, but I'm with you on that. I don't like cigarette smoke either. It's very easy as annoying as it is and aggravating as it is really easy for me to also like step aside to a little bit. I don't have to stand right beside them. It's not attacking me. It's not whooping my ass. I can whistle on over. It ain't that hard. Like I said, I'm not trying to demonize these people into thinking
Yeah.
that they all need to be in prison.
I don't know. I think that mostly only conservative states are the ones that have continued to outlaw it and not capture like the economic benefits and stop the
Yeah, they're still
cartel.
scared of it. They're scared. They're still scared of it a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I'm from Alabama. We would not do it until the other 49 states do it. I
Yeah.
mean, we'll be the last ones to do that. I mean, we do a lot of things great, but we're not. That's not. Like I said, the tax dollars alone on it. I mean, I can agree with you. Would be very, very beneficial. We could probably tax
Could you
ourselves a lot
imagine?
less. I'm.
Yeah, like we could start feeding people with that money. Like I could get over smelling it every once in a while if that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, could you imagine? I mean, yeah, I agree with you. You almost got me voting Democrat. I mean, I'm joking, but I mean, no, look, we found common ground tonight. I mean, I agree with you on that. That the tax money alone is because I don't think it's necessarily it's annoying, but I'm not gonna go start fighting people just cause I can beat them up because they're high and they can't even fight back. I'm not gonna do anything like that. I don't think it's just it is annoying, but there's a lot of annoying things in the world. It's the least I don't go around thinking about it. I really don't want people in prison for it forever now. But I'm about to shock you here. Maybe I don't know how shocked you'll be, but I don't want anybody in prison for being caught with drugs. I don't really care if you do drugs as long as it ain't harming somebody. I also don't want it to be an excuse though. Like if you robbed somebody because you were high on meth, then I don't know if I can say that.
The M drug.
But if you rob, yeah, a harder drug. We'll just call it harder drugs, man. I will. But if you do something because of, I don't think it should be a scapegoat. Does that make
No, I
sense?
don't think so either. But I also think that when
Yeah,
we
you
send
got
people to prison for being on these types of substances, we should include
it costs
rehab.
us money.
We should include rehab so
No,
that they're
I
actually
don't.
not doing recidivism.
Do you want us to pay for the rehab?
Yes, because we're going to pay for it otherwise.
Oh yeah, I don't want them to go to prison. I don't want to pay for the. I mean, I don't look. I don't have a good solution for it. I just don't want to pay my tax dollars. I don't want your tax dollars either going to pay for people to get off. Just don't do
I
it.
think that's impossible. Like
I
I think that what you're prescribing is for us to just live in a society where you're like just always mad because you're against the solution.
this rehab. Yeah, but have you ever been to? No, I don't know if you ever been. I'm not. I mean, have you ever met anybody that went to rehab and made it out and hadn't got back on it?
I used to be a substance counselor.
Okay, so you met a lot. How many of them are repeat offenders?
It's like 80%.
It's just like I thought it would be higher than that. Really, it's, they rehabs. Maybe I just don't. I tell you what. I'm going to say this right. I don't trust our current rehab situation. Maybe there's a better one. It needs revamped. The rehab. it's not the it's not it's not working. I mean, when you if it's only 20% success rate, we
That's
got to get
20% less
something better
people
than
doing
that.
recidivism and doing hard crimes again.
I don't look. Maybe you have a number. I've never looked that up too much. I'm just personal experience. My family has a bad drug problem, a very bad one, and I know people that's been to prison. I know people that's been to rehab, get out of both of them, and still right back on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then I have a family member that I completely gave up on, who didn't even go to rehab, who just quit cold turkey. Completely surprised me. I mean, I don't know how he finally did it. I don't what it was that woke him up, but he's been doing good for about 3 years now. Well, I don't want to congratulate him for being normal for 3 years, but you know, I'm happy. I don't. When I say I don't want people going to jail for it, it doesn't mean I don't worry about my family members or other people. When I see people on drugs, I still worry about them. You know, I still don't. If they're smoking the pot, I walk away. I mean,
So
I'll go
like
the way. But on the harder stuff,
there's a binary here. So we either want to help them or do something about it, or we don't want to help them at all. And only one of those only one of those options lead to that just continuing to grow the problem.
well, what if we? The solution is not working right now. So if there's another solution, I might can get behind it. Look, even if we go fail 10 more times, we can't keep this rehab, and then just put them in jail and they commit a crime eventually. It's like that's both of them stupid options. I really don't want to pay for the rehab, but I do realize they're poor. But not everybody has a good family support system. I'm not talking about just some.
I don't
some
think
kid getting
that like stopping this at the point of someone like using the shrugs might be also like a misconception. Like we could be investing in the awareness of, or just like the education of how these substances affect us societally. I think that alone, it costs money, but we have to do it. And like
Yeah.
we scapegoat
But we
these
do that
people
though.
when they commit like the most atrocious crimes, and you say, "Oh, these people were crazy when they did a school shooting
Yeah,
or
I don't want
something."
to. I don't want to scapegoat that. Yeah,
So
I don't
we
want to scapegoat.
in
That's the
in
thing.
every single instance where we look at the solution of these problems, Republicans have gutted the solution. They gut mental health support. They gut substance abuse support in all of these states, and it just makes the problem worse. And I think that Republicans mostly can only think about themselves. They only want to see about their tax liability being minimized. And I don't even think that happens under
No,
Republican rule.
they might be more Republicans, but they don't mean they're evil. They
I
don't mean that they're just thinking.
I don't know.
I
I
know.
think that
Look,
they're working against like a solution though.
maybe, but I just want to say this, man. I really disagree with you. I heard you talk, but I do want to say I do think you're actually. I think I don't know you personally, obviously. But I do think you're a decent human being, but probably better than most. I think you have a good heart on you. I think you care. That's the reason you start. I don't think you're doing this just to get people to listen to you. I think you really want to make change and stuff. I think you're passionate in your beliefs. I think that's awesome. I do. Unless you're pulling my leg, I don't get tricked much. I mean, you might disagree with me because I vote Republican, but I do think you're a decent human being. I think you do care. I really. I just want to say that to you. I don't think I don't think you really hate the Republicans. I think you're mad at them right now, but I don't think you're like a bad person, evil person.
I appreciate
But I
you.
also don't think that. No, I ain't no appreciate. I'm just saying, like you're decent. Like you're not screaming. You ask people to tone it down. You may mock them a little bit, but you're not hateful. You're not mean. I appreciate that. But I think most Republicans just think that. You got to remember they are conservative. So they are against this stuff, and they are strong in this. And it's hard for them to accept money for this, like, because it feels like dirty money. We have to realize that too, though. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
I
think
I, I,
that the fact that
I'm okay with it.
alcohol is by far the most harmful substance. Even when you look at like the hard white stuff or the hard M stuff, it does far more irreversible brain damage and body damage to a person than most of those other substances. It's one of the only two substances you can die from just simply having withdrawals. So when we talk about things as benign as the green stuff, I think it's crazy. I think that it's unwarranted. I think it's like hypocritical.
Now, I'm asking you this because I believe you probably already looked into it. In the last, I don't know, I'll say last 10 years, has there been a lot of people that haven't had multiple, like,
Did we lose him?
Hello? I had a friend die at the age of 33 like 2 years ago that straight up just from drinking. Like you don't get that with the green stuff.
Yeah, I've had a friend that's been hospitalized several times because they've stopped drinking and it's made them exceptionally ill and they've had to go to the emergency room. They've been very fortunate.
Yeah. Oh, I think he's gone. You probably got a phone call. All right.
Well, I can do some mod things
Go
for
ahead.
you really quickly. Welcome all raiders that came in here from Matt and Nemo. Thank you so much if you stuck around. Please send in your heart me's, please. It is a new day. So if you haven't sent in any heart me's today, please do so. Please repost the live and share it with your friends, your enemies, and your frenemies. Make sure you're following Pickles here. This is his new main. And if you'd like to buy baby Pickles some treats and her expensive dog food, Venmo and Cash App are on the screen. If you'd also like to make sure that Pickles gets a meal, Venmo and Cash App are on the screen, or you can send gifts here. And thank you so much for being here. And I'm sure we'll get another caller up here soon. Or if anybody would like to request up, you can do so.
Thank you, Artie.
Yeah, I don't think I forgot anything. I literally came up to talk to you about the hantavirus on the cruise ship like an hour ago. It's kind of interesting. I thought you might just want to read about it.
I had 4 people just call again. I'm gonna turn the phone like back. I don't want to.
Okay, I'm gonna drop down, but I was gonna say you should read into it.
Okay.
But thank you for having me up here. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
The phone line is back on now. If y'all want to try calling again, you're welcome to. I unalived from drinking. Legit deed on the table. LOL. Dead on the table. It was wild. Damn, dude. Glad you're still with us. I'm 2.5 years sober. June 1st, I think it'll be July 1st. I'll be 2.5. But I was a blackout drinker every single day. 1/2 of a handle of vodka, just dirty martinis, until I passed out on the kitchen floor. I was really bad. So I get it. Yellow, is this a Trump supporter?
Nah, I'm not a Trump supporter.
You want to say something real quick? I'm trying to get on to opposition.
Yeah, no worries. So for the people out there, I mean, as a Mexican American guy, by the way, I'm that guy named Michael El Güerito. That's my name there. So, like, long story short, this whole like immigration deal is our immigration system needs to be overhauled. There needs to be improvement. We got to make it like Australia, where people can put their application online.
I agree. I think that it was a negative IQ move getting rid of the CBP1 app. If you want fewer people to make the trek to the border with an unwarranted asylum claim, then I guess you can get rid of it. But I think it's silly. I think it's antithetical to the whole notion of stopping the inflow of undocumented migrants. But
You also had Christy Nome as well, who like said, "Oh, like we'll pay you if you leave the country or whatever." It's like that was kind of bullshit because it was just like a trap. It was like a bait and kind of thing, you know.
yeah, I agree. Well, I appreciate you coming up, dude.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.
Phone line is back on. If you're trying to call, wow, they are just fucking blowing up the phone chat. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Doing good. What do you like about Trump?
Okay, no, I was talking to you a while ago, and I think I lost you. I didn't think you hung up on me.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, no, but I just heard the guy talking about immigration. I applied. Me and my wife applied for her immigration online. I just heard him say that we did apply online. It is too long, and I do agree. You know, especially me waiting over a year for my wife to be here legally. It's been rough. But I have to say we got denied by the Biden people, and hopefully we'll get approved by the Trump administration. I don't know. That is true, by the way. We got denied the first time.
Blows my mind. Blows my mind that exactly someone in your position is the people Biden was trying to help. The first day in office, he tried to introduce a bill that would help people, couples specifically, with where there was one undocumented or one migrant and one U.S. citizen. It would have given them a pathway to citizenship. I think it's wild.
It's I misled you a little bit. It's so much deeper than that. It's cause she's Filipino, man. If she was coming from, literally, gosh, I feel bad. But if she was coming from a richer country, she would be here already. She can't even visit right now.
Do you agree with
She's
that
not
dynamic?
on the travel ban.
Do you
No,
think that
of
we
course
should
I
be
don't.
fast tracking people from Saudi Arabia over
You
Philippines?
might want to look into it from Saudi Arabia, but I don't think it's been over a year. I don't think anybody should have to wait. And look, I don't know what the issue is, but why anybody should have to wait a year. But I do think that would stop some of the illegals. I think if it was easier, it would help. I'm okay with people being
creates an
here.
environment where more people are illegal.
Well, by making it easier to come here.
No, by making it harder. So if the process is that much
No,
harder,
no. I want it to be easier to come here.
yeah, I do too. The Democrats do too. Republicans definitely don't.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is we got denied by the Biden administration.
Was it a rule that he put in place, or was it just the 3 or 5 judges that are all conservative that decide on these things?
No, you don't get that. It's weird. Here's how it worked for us. You literally go and you fill out your work, and then they just say no, and then you can't ask a question for like years. Everything looks like it's going to get approved this time. It's just going to be another probably about 3 or 4 months. I'm going over there.
The way that the process is so sluggish, you agree that it creates an environment where people either are here without like perfect legal status, or it creates an environment where people in unfortunate situations in other countries,
I agree with
like
you.
the Philippines, like where people, the Philippines economy is not great, I guess. I don't know if that's offensive to say, but it's not great. And
no, it's not offensive to say the truth, especially when you're being nice about it.
It's not a viable option to have the 5 or 10 grand in the 3 years to come, especially if you just want to come to work. Like if you're trying to come to work and add to the economy, you should be fast tracked right in.
You know what's crazy is a work visa is faster than a spousal visa for the Philippines. I don't know about every country, but yeah, for the Philippines.
Yeah. I just think I think it's crazy. I think that creates more undocumented migrants, and
so
the catch-22
the chances of a
the catch-22 is
Go ahead, sorry.
when we try to propose ways for people to come here legally and for it to be a legal process, the Republicans always try to say, "Oh, we're just trying to like buy voters."
Well, I think that's somewhat true. If you all of a sudden let a bunch.
But they can't
By the way,
vote.
my wife would vote for Trump. If no,
But
no,
they
no, we're
can't.
talking about citizenship and stuff too, though. Like she'll be now. One thing about it is her passing citizenship is faster than someone with a work visa. It only takes her 3 years. Don't mean she's gonna get approved, but she could apply in 3 years.
Wouldn't they vote for
But if you're on
somebody
a
that fast tracked it?
well, there's a lot of other reasons she's not gonna vote for Biden. I mean, vote for Democrat once she's over here. I mean, she's Filipino, she's conservative, she's Catholic.
I don't
When
get what that means. I don't, like Biden was Catholic.
they're going, she's not going. She's always going to do what? What was that?
Biden was Catholic.
Yeah, but she's really into like the conservative part. She's gonna be. Look. I'm not trying to put my wife down. I love my wife, my lovely wife, but she's not gonna be okay with people smoking pot. They're raised a little bit different.
I think it's just like a bigoted stance. No offense to your wife, but that's like a stance that you hold without reason, right?
Look, I can't look. She's pretty good person. I've never met anybody that didn't like her, but yeah, she's not gonna be okay with smoking pot. She's not gonna be, like I said, she's not gonna be up in somebody's face and all mad. But they don't really smoke pot in the Philippines. You don't hear about.
So she just like people like that, in my opinion,
Not,
like it reminds me of anybody in the South who lives in like a
no,
rural
fits in the South.
neighborhood that
She does.
like smoking the devil's lettuce is like really crazy, really bad. Like, but if you're in a city or
Everybody
a
in the
state,
South ain't like that. Most people in the South ain't like that.
I'm in Texas. I don't know, man.
Look, listen straight up. The reason most people vote Republican in the South is because they're against abortions. I know you don't like that, but the abortion thing, but that's the truth. It comes with you vote religiously
Yeah.
first here.
I think that is a social wedge issue that was invented in the 80s by the church.
Maybe, but I mean, she's gonna be definitely against abortion. I'm against abortion. I'm not trying to make you mad, but I'm against abortion.
I get it.
So I mean, she's gonna vote that way.
You can
She's
keep talking. I'll be right back.
pro-gun. They don't have. She's do what? I'm sorry, I didn't lose you again, did I? Hello? Hello, sir? Hello?
Anyway, oh, I had to use the restroom. Sorry. All right, I'm gonna turn the phone line back on. Yeah, if you're watching this caller, I was just saying you can keep talking and I'll be right back, but we lost you. It's all right. Chat, if you're a Trump supporter and you want to debate, hop in the box or call the phone line. We are getting so many calls on the phone line, chat. Hopefully, if you're trying to call in, you can try one more time. And they are up late tonight. His wife might get deported going to court. We actually found out that the people being arrested in their court hearings for immigration, it was all illegal, and that it was misconstrued by this Trump administration or a Trump judge to be legal. And they just reversed that. Chat, I love yous. Thank you for all the support tonight. Lindsay, thank you so much. $15 says, why is everybody yelling tonight? Hope your Monday was good. Lindsay, I'm sorry it took me so long to read that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you. Am I down to buy Spirit? Do you guys want to start a GoFundMe so I can buy Spirit Airlines? Travel the country like Charlie Kirk? Have I seen the Leaving MAGA website? Wow. Let's read this guy's story. I grew up in Dallas in the 90s, very religious conservative household. We attend conservative fundamentalist and evangelical Baptist churches. We are independent fundamental Baptists. Yuck. Our church was very critical, both political parties, was more opposed to Democrats, Republicans, and the end church would not support any government official who didn't bend the knee to Christ in every way possible. Barack Obama, heard a lot of comments to church about being anti-Christ. I was just 13. Yeah, this is how it all starts, dude. Yeah, the church learned values, taught, very pro-life. See Roe v. Wade overturned. Guys, I had a dream last night that I did time travel to try to stop the reversal of Roe v. Wade. I'm not lying. It's very vivid. There's videos. I don't want to play any videos right now. Chat, 100% of the people that are against immigrants and undocumented migrants have no idea what their impact is on the economy or what the impact is on the economy for deportation. 100% don't care. They won't believe you if you read the facts. They're anti-science, anti-data driven, just rhetorical BS, dude. If any of y'all were tasked with writing like a 1,200 word essay on the effects of immigration on our country, 100% of the MAGA's essays would be feelings, bullshit, assimilation claims. It would have no facts or data. The second you started to look for facts or data, you'd be making a case for liberalism. Sticker's kind of off screen. Let me do something. Chat, I've done 5 minutes of research on this, and it's crazy how none of them have even gotten this far. It is absolutely wild. We are Charlie Kirk. Ignorance is a choice. I agree. Guys, have y'all seen that transition on TikTok? That's the with or without gang violence. And then it transitions. Oh, people are wild. Where'd all the phone calls go, chat? Where did all the phone calls go? Guys, thank you for the 100K likes. If you're new to this channel, give me a follow. This is not my old account. You might not be following, so be sure you're following. My main account was banned. Reston Pizza. And I was nannered for 3 days for saying that Trump has a blank insert neck. Like, think about the word I used. You're tired of having a liberal propaganda. Chad, if you want to donate to the liberal propaganda machine, my pay apps are right here. And I think the next person that sends a galaxy, I'm going to give Pickles a duck treat. It is why it happened, yeah. It is literally what happened. The video they sent me, they send you a video snippet now of the thing you said to get nannered. It was exactly that. Like the color of the triangle. Thank you, Christian. Oslo's in the chat. Oh, thank you for the goose hat.
Hey everyone!
Oslo!
Oh, so Pickles, the other day I was at a wedding. It was a pretty fancy wedding. You know, like one of those fancy farms type of thing, barns and stuff. And I went up to the bar to get a drink because, you know, you're at a wedding, you want to get a little loose. Gotta get it, you know. I mean, not everybody, I understand. But me, you know, a little bit. And, you know, so I go and I am waiting in line. I get up to the bar and I'm gonna order my non-alcoholic cider. And right there on the bar, right on top of the bar, is this little piano and this like Barbie-sized human being playing the piano, like a little bit of little tiny music. And I'm like, what the heck? How did you get this little Ken doll-sized human being playing the piano? And he says, oh, the bartender says, oh, well, right around the corner on the other side of the barn, there's a little party favor for all the guests. They have a genie and everybody gets one wish. So make sure you go and you get your wish granted. So I'm like, oh, heck yeah. So I go and I wait in line to get, you know, I'm like, what am I going to get? What am I going to get? But I didn't decide until I got up there. So I just kind of said what came to the top of my head and I wished for $1 million. And out of nowhere, all these ducks start quacking, quack, 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 flapping their wings. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay, do you have to answer that?
Hello, can you give me 1 second, guest?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Okay, it's quick. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't. There's like 1 million ducks. So I go back to the bartender and I say, hey, I think that your genie is broken because I asked for $1 million and it gave me 1 million ducks. And the bartender just kind of looks at me like, well, yeah, do you think I asked for a 12-inch pianist? Love you, bud. See you later.
Love you. All right, guest on the phone. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
Okay, what do you like about Trump?
I agree with a lot of what he's doing, kidnapping a dictator from Venezuela, the situation taking place in the IRI. There's just a lot of things I agree with what he's doing.
Okay, like, I don't think anybody has any qualms around the Maduro thing besides, like, committing war crimes and stuff, but...
War crimes are just based off the individuals in question. Some individuals might subscribe to this, other ones don't. That's just preference-based.
Same thing with all crimes, I guess, right?
Yeah, so when it comes to the situation, how about the IRI?
Do you believe that it's objectively wrong what we're doing?
Yes.
Okay, define objective real quick.
I think that objective is not going to be
I
something I
think
hold. All right. I don't think that you're going to get me to like philosophize over the word objective in this conversation. I'm more focused on the fact that I think that our presence out there is a net negative in every possible way, and it could have been avoided if Trump were never president.
Wait, net negative is just based into the individual's preference. So
I
that's
think the
still
whole
going to be
world is
preference
seeing
based.
this as a negative, isn't it?
No, wait, that's just preference based still. You're making the assertion that this is going to be objectively what makes it, oh, well, a net negative. Because other individuals like Jeffrey D. that ate people, he thought it was a net positive to do this action.
I don't
So that's
think we
still
need to
preference
engage in
based.
these types of like mental gymnastics when talking about like the state of the world economy.
Okay, why should I care about another society in of itself?
Because it affects us too.
Why should it be the case that we are relying on other economies when sorry. So even if it is the case, we want to use the argument and present it, well, it affects us too. Well, it could be the case we can affect all economies, destroy the economies, and then be the last one standing. Could that not be the case?
That would be objective. That would be bad for everybody, especially us.
Bad is preference. It would be bad for them, but good for us, would it not?
No, it wouldn't be good for us.
Why would that be the case?
Because when we talk about like scarcity of oil, the whole world will be reaching for oil no matter the cost, and the people here that are drilling oil will be selling it to them because they would rather sell it for a higher price than lower.
They would tell it to us. If we negatively affect all the other economies and make it so we're the only ones that can do this, what would happen?
I think that we would be looking at a really bad state of the world. We wouldn't be able to
You
trade.
think
You're pointing out the most weirdest things in this conversation, and at any given moment, things are very malleable. Like when you talk about good and bad, you're like, oh, well, that's a personal preference. We can easily just talk about this without the Phil Bro stuff and say that
no,
the
I like being a Phil Bro.
The entire world is suffering from oil prices, and whether you like it or not, it's not going to be so detrimental that these economies just disappear. We're going to see like violence happen probably when we see other countries paying $5, $6, $7 for oil and emptying their special reserves. They're going to get that back one way or another. And
okay, and
companies
why should I care about the violence happening in that country in of itself?
If we're looking for a state of affairs that is preferable to most and
preferable to most, I don't care what most people say.
Okay, well then
you're making the assert place.
Okay, well that's I think a character flaw on your part because I think a world where
I think
most people
it is that's preference based still. I get an argument outside of preference?
Okay, a world where most people are seeing a scarcity of oil.
Why should I care about them?
We're going to see prices go up in everything.
Yeah, if we can destroy it, if it is the case that all other economies are affected and we can manage to hold out better than all of them and they crash and everything like that, then we have the market. So then at that point, even with you, I think this is going to be the case. Yeah, that's still preference based. Give me a second. I got to call you right back. My boss is calling.
Say hi to your dad for me. I think you have to do some really weird gymnastics there to be like, I don't care about the rest of the world. Well, do you like $1,000 iPhones? Do you like $20,000 cars? Well, that's not the reality you'll be living in. Trump is genuinely oof. Thank you, sucks. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
Cool. What do you like about Trump?
Pretty cool.
Okay, do you have anything else for me?
Not really. Have a good day.
Average Trump supporter. Average Trump supporter chat. Crimson Desert later. I promised somebody that I'd watch Euphoria later. We'll see what happens. Crimson Desert is so good though. So good. I'm hooked. Chat, what do y'all think would happen to the world if all of these countries he was alluding to failing? What do you think that would do to our economy? Be really bad. Really, really bad. I think you have to be really special kind of stupid to think otherwise. The most current episode. I haven't watched last night's episode. The substance? I think so. I think so. Chat, we are doing political debates and we are looking for Trump supporters to tell us why they still like Trump somehow. I think in this like weird model of thinking where we're somehow better off fucking up the world economy, I think you're just as brainwashed as like North Koreans. And I mean that literally. I don't mean that like colloquially, or I don't mean that like hyperbolically. I think you are literally as brainwashed as a North Korean. Did I see Nick Shirley hostage video? Is he hostage somewhere? Please tell me yes. Almost taken hostage. Nick Shirley claims he's stranded in Cuba playing escape room. No, dude. Oh, keep him. Keep him. Keep him. Let me charge for Rose. Oh, shit. Oh, my God, dude. This is not my main account, chat. That main account is gone. So right now, you currently have surgeons doing operations with flashlights because there's no power inside the hotel and hospitals. Right now, I'm in the hotel in Havana. It's 24/7 electricity. Is only one that has access. Yeah, look how bad communism is when a country like North America comes and fucks with you. Yeah, I'm sure it's real bad. But I don't have to wait in the U.S. Embassy. And they were going to the embassy or a possible way out of the situation. He alleged that there were 3 Cuban spies near the hotel, and they have to figure out how we're going to escape. Shirley said is potentially about to be kidnapped in Cuba. You guys should know exactly what's happening and the risk we take here in Cuba. Show people the truth about realities of communism, what's happening here in Cuba. Nick Shirley is literally the dumbest person with a camera and a microphone. I think he quite literally is TBI, dude. You've never heard of Nick Shirley? Oh my god. He's a goof, dude. He's a fucking idiot. In Minecraft. Dude, my YouTube is popping right now. The video's kind of funny. Dude, YouTube's chat is moving so hard right now. Why do I think I'm right about everything? Um, I think I'm right about everything as much as any party opposing a fascist dictatorship is right about everything. I don't think it's that hard to see that there's something inherently wrong with the Trump administration and the way he's got a grasp on his voter base. I think it is a cult of personality, exactly like the worst things we've seen in history. And the fact that we could show you guys evidence and data and you won't care, and you have to denounce entire entities like Google to say your claims are true. I think it's that hard. I think that you can just easily fact check the claims of MAGA as a whole, and like almost none of them are true. I think they're all so misled with propaganda, the thing they claim to be immune to. They are literally just sycophants for the propaganda machine. I mean that literally. I think that conservatism as a whole is wrong. I think that we can just show it through data. We don't even have to have opinions about it. I think that conservatism is a shit stain on America. Every instance in America where there's an embarrassing part of history, it was because of conservatism. Anytime the budget has been out of control, conservatism. Anytime there's been a recession in the economy, conservatism. Period. And I don't think conservatives even look at this objectively. They just chew on brain dead rhetoric to justify their positions.
At Sucks at Roblox lol super chatted $9.99. Trump does not represent the actual citizens of the USA, he might as well represent NZ Germany because he is making us a fascist dictatorship.
Appreciate it, thank you. Guys, if you want your text to speech to come out like that, you can donate over $5 on Super Chat on YouTube. Name a single society that's remarkably progressed under conservatism. Like, it's in the word. How do you progress when you're trying to conserve how shitty your country is? Do you really think that America couldn't just steamroll Middle East and take what we want if we wanted to? No, we actually can't. And I think we've proven it. We can't. We can't without like unaliving everybody, like genociding people, and then that alone will probably cause the world to turn against us violently. So no, I don't think you can. We're shooting down $50,000 drones with $1 million missiles. No. Iran's laughing at us. Ukraine's laughing at Russia. Exactly. There's no perfect president. I agree. There is no perfect president, but I think Trump is like an atrocity. I think Trump is like the worst of the worst. Even the hard things that he's doing, you're like, Trump is just, he's taking the brunt of doing the things nobody else wanted to do. He's doing the things nobody else, that everyone else knew better to do. None of these things are helpful. None of these things are good for America. The data is coming out in the economy. It's all really bad. He's like tripled his wealth last year. He's Saddam Hussein of the United States. What did I want him to conserve? I am not a Trump supporter. If I could move to any other country, which would it be? New Zealand, Germany, Australia, China? Dare I say? China's fucking sick, dude. Japan. Japan's economy's not great though. No economy is doing good because of Trump right now. Yeah, I miss when Bush Jr. was the worst of the worst. I miss it because at least he wasn't like maliciously bad. He was just dumb and bad. Japan does. Japan is very racist. And it's like hard for Americans to conceive that because we're, you know, like a white American wouldn't be like, my privilege works everywhere. You go to Japan, yeah. We ran out of callers, dude. They were fucking blowing this shit up. His shoe dodge was really cool. Now watch this drive. I didn't know China had it the way they do till this year, which is very well, yeah. Xenophobic, not racist. They're racist. They're racist. Towards black people, towards white people, people of color. If you're not Japanese, you are treated much differently. Right? At least Bush didn't cheat at golf, dude. Do you know Trump has a book somebody wrote about him called Commander in Chief? It's about how he cheats at golf. And if you think about, like, think about the people you would play golf with and finding out that one of your friends is cheating. It says a lot about your character. Like, it says a lot. And Trump cheats at golf 100%. Like in a sad Kim Jong-un kind of way. At his old age, yeah. The way that he cut in front of the Queen of England, it just says everything. He just can't handle not being in the spotlight, the best person ever, the most coveted, the most looked up upon. He can't stand that. And it comes out in his policies. It comes out in his actions as president. in the most disgusting, egregious ways.
At Sucks at Roblox lol super chatted $9.99. Nostradamus predicted Hitler and Napoleon, labeling them as the first and second Antichrist, and I do believe Trump is his third Antichrist from his prophecies. You should look into Nostradamus.
I haven't looked into Nostradamus enough to think that he was something supernatural. But I think we can easily, without any sort of weird position, like look at what Trump has done and to say that he is, in fact, one of the worst things to happen to America societally, financially, geopolitically, economically. He's like the worst thing to happen in recent history. I don't know. I'm not so well versed on the history of each president to say that for sure he is the worst of the worst. I'm sure I'd be overlooking something, but I think I'm safe in saying he's the worst in recent history. Not her, but how she passed. Nostradamus' prophecies are all retrofitting. Have you ever debated unrealness? I don't think so. I've heard that Andrew Johnson is ranked the worst on a lot of rankings by historians, and Trump is like second worst, sometimes third. That's my only hesitancy. But I think we could easily, like anybody with a working brain who's not in a cult, just chugging Kool-Aid, could say that he's really bad. At least Nixon knew when to leave. My almost 80-year-old father said he's the worst he's ever had in his lifetime. Yeah. Have you not debated why it would be xenophobia and not racism? I haven't debated that. Is Japanese culture more xenophobic or racist? Based on expert analysis and user expectations, Japanese culture is often characterized as having high levels of xenophobia, distrust of outsiders that frequently overlap with a manifest of racism. Japan is often described as homogenous. Experts argue racism there is as pronounced as in the West, though it often appears as a mild exclusion rather than overt violence. You know what? I'll give you that one. Okay. The insularity, a deep-seated hesitancy to accept foreigners into the mainstream culture, often leading to discrimination in housing, employment, public services. Invisible barriers, foreigners often feel welcomed as tourists but ignored and excluded as residents. Often non-Japanese people who look Japanese are treated as outsiders if they do not speak the language or know the cultural norms. But when it comes to racism, racial profiling, foreigners, particularly black and brown residents, report frequent questioning by police, sometimes suing for racial profiling. The hierarchy of perception, some observers note a hierarchy where different ethnic groups face different levels of discrimination. The lack of protection, Japan lacks comprehensive national laws prohibiting racial discrimination, which allows for and sometimes encourages the discriminatory practices by firms. Experts suggest xenoracism is more accurate. Okay. Xenoracism. I guess it is important we use the right word. I wouldn't even say I guess. I think it is important. But I also don't think it's super inaccurate to just say that there is racism there. But I guess as a whole, xenophobia is a final boss. Racial stratification. I need to learn what that means. It's a system of hierarchical social and economic inequality where groups are ranked based on race and dominant groups holding superior resources, opportunities, and power. Okay. I've never heard of xenoracism either, but it sounds hard saying it. You can see how they draw. Yeah, the way they draw them in anime, I agree. Real troubling when you look at Usopp. I don't know. I think the person who wrote One Piece was very like woke. But there's definitely like Dragon Ball Z, the way they did like the lips and stuff on characters, not good. Not good. I would stick out like a sore thumb because I'm very tall and I really would love to go to Japan. Don't bring up Mr. Bubble. Yeah. Not good. Has it been a slow night? Not really. Like at some points, I had like 5 people call at the exact same time. It's been crazy. I think the West Coast is finally fallen asleep though. That was Dragon Ball, and the manga was the 90s, around Z and GT era where they fixed it for the most part. Yeah. Jinx from Pokemon? I don't know. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt there, but who knows? OG art, not like now. Dude, I was in 7th grade when Pokemon came out. It was probably the biggest thing that happened in my life. I'm still a huge Pokemon fan. I have a Pokemon tattoo. Love Pokemon. Love Pokemon. One Piece should be on the Plex when it drops. Oh my god, I still have that Plex. Do I play Pokemon Go? I don't. I play the card game Pocket. I was way younger than that. When it was mainstream, I was in 7th or 8th grade. I hauled my Pokemon cards around in middle school. That's all I remember. Is it less popular now than when it came out? I think that people my age are just still engaged in it. Like the adults in their 30s that have expendable income to buy like a $50,000 Charizard first edition, that's what's kind of made it big again. I'm 37. Pharmacopoeia. Is that on iPhone? Or is that the Switch game? Millennials with kids are also, yeah. I guess 6'5" goes to Japan every year for 6 months. I've been twice. Oof. 1998. So I was 10 years old. I'm huge in Magic the Gathering. I play a lot of Magic. Get Pokemon Go? I played it when it first came out. I feel like I'd have so much catching up to do. I play Arena. I play Magic the Gathering Arena. If I showed you my account on Arena, you would shit a kitten. I have so many wild I could build all like I could probably get every single card in existence if I wanted to cash in right now. There's no catching up, just playing. Crimson Desert. Crimson Desert is so good. It's insanely good. The map is enormous. Biggest qualm, no commander. Yeah, they have the brawl. They have brawl. My favorite format in Arena is quick draft. I like playing draft. I don't like standard. I don't like meta. I don't like the decks in meta. That's annoying as fuck. I like playing draft and building like a crappy deck with what you have, like limited, you know, whatever. I like building decks using cards that aren't meaningful in other formats and stuff. I like that. Where's that Pokemon tattoo? It's on my ankle. It's a Venusaur. My brothers and I were all gonna get the starter Pokemon Final Evolutions from the first gen, and I was the only one who got it. So Runeterra, Hearthstone. I've tried Hearthstone. It's pretty good. You have Ivysaur? No way. I would get a full Pokemon sleeve, like on one of my limbs, if I could afford it. It's Riot's MTG? What? I've never heard of it. Guys, I think we might get off soon. I think I have some stuff to do. I got the weed stores versus sleeve. All right, chat. I think I'm gonna get off. We'll come back tomorrow at a better time. Time to game. Maybe later. I've gotta watch Euphoria and then maybe some gaming. So I love y'all. I will see y'all later. Y'all have a good one. Thank you guys for all the support. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the love. We'll catch you again tomorrow, chat. Catch you later, chat. Peace.